Turn your radios up. Turn your radios up. Y'all know what this is. Y'all know who this is. B-Eazy Dat Dude. An impromptu stream back with another one. This one is going to be a banger. And look, I haven't been here, sorry to keep y'all waiting. But look, I'm here. The champ is here. That dude is here. It's going to be a fun one. It's going to be a fruitful stream, and it will be informative. And, I don't like to keep y'all waiting. I like to get right into it. So let me give a greetings and salutations to those that will be live in the chat, viewing this concurrently, and the people that's going to be watching on the replay gang. The replay gang, they've been coming strong. But before we get this rocking, you know, I gotta hit you.
私も地元民と言っても
さすがいです。もう友達できたの？
うん。ぶったまんまこっち見ない。
This promethazine got me leaning like a cholo in the club. I'm 20 deep. I don't be riding solo. Pull some bad bitches, they vanilla and cocoa. They wanna take some photos when we kick it out in Soho. Chicks are showing tits and popping pussy for my promo. Told them like juvenile, baby, move it for me slow mo. Then I'm right back to the block, cause I keep getting moto. I be flipping, not shrinking. I don't give a fuck about no ho, no ho. This nigga name ain't D-Lo, but pimpin' these bitches and stacking this bread forever be my stilo. This is B-Eazy Dat Dude in the trap making pass smooth. If I ever go broke, then I'm about to pull a jack move. Since a nigga healthy, I don't even gotta worry. With my bitch from Fiji eating tandoori and chicken curry, that ism is really in me. My pimp game international. I design my own clothes, so I be always looking fashionable. Here's a couple facts about me that y'all didn't know. Some of y'all be getting bread, but I be getting bigger, dawg. I got bigger guns and a whole lot of bad.
Okay, and we are activated. I told y'all I was not gonna wait. We are gonna get right into it. I am reacting to a video from none other than the Honorable Tariq Nasheed. This video is titled Tariq Nasheed versus a conservative incel. So this is one of his throwback videos. I think he did it a few years ago, but the talking points is still relevant. So we're going to get right into this. Just give me uno momento. And this is how we gonna rock out. So there's this thing where when people say, oh, well, the black community has an issue with conservatives. No, people don't have an issue with conservatives. We have an issue with raccoons. We have an issue with tap dancers. We have issues with Sambos. And these whole conservative, liberal, Republican, Democrat, none of these labels were made by you, and they're not made for you. They will use you as a mascot, as a crash out dummy for these labels. But no, when they're talking about conservatism, if you close your eyes and think of the quintessential conservative, you're not thinking of a black person. So this is the thing. Regardless of whatever ideology you want to stand behind, if you put that before your lineage, your legacy, your lifeline, man, you're not somebody that I really want to be around. Because all of these people that champion Christianity and conservatism, they turn around and say, we need more white babies. They don't say that they need more Christian babies. They revert back to, oh yeah, we need more white Christian babies. We need more white conservatives. So when you thinking about these labels, they're not thinking about yo black ass. I'm gonna just leave it like that. So let's get into this video. And before, it looks like we are joined by Ashura in the building. Shout out to my homie in the Canada. Salute to him. Sock passe. We're gonna get right into it. I don't want to keep y'all waiting. So let's play a little bit of the video.
Yes,
Hilarious, my
yeah,
man.
it's just
But thank you so much, brother. Thank you. Let me get Jordan. Jordan in the building.
hey Tariq.
What's up, Jordan? How are you?
I'm a foundational Black American. I think you're very interesting. I think you're very.
When people say that, when
I
people
think
try to
you're.
lead with that's here comes some bullshit. Okay, here
I
comes some
think
bullshit. Now,
I think you're.
first of all, I like to say I am FBA. Usually
No,
that's a
I'm not
tether.
a tether. I'm not a tether.
Okay,
I'm not a
usually that's some
tether.
shit that a tether would try to play off, and then they start saying some tether shit.
No, I don't.
Let's hear it. Let's
No,
hear it. Okay, you're
I-
FBA, and
yeah,
now what?
and
Okay,
and I'm a Black conservative.
okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing. I'm conservative to a certain degree. So
I believe you have a bad view of Clarence.
I think there is something with Black conservatism because the Black conservatism, not all, but many of them like to bootlick and buck break themselves for the white conservatives. And they say, well, why do you have to make it about race? Well, why are you calling yourself a Black conservative, right? Why are you even qualifying your Blackness and your melanin with conservatism? You always say, don't play identity politics. Y'all talk about race too much. And then you turn around and say that you're a Black conservative. You making it about race and identity? Are you kidding me? Let's commence.
Thomas, I believe that. I believe that you just view him wrong. Like you view him as a, and I don't. I just think you haven't done more research on him. That's it. Like that's like I believe.
So what are we misunderstanding about Clarence Thomas?
You view him as a, right? Yes or no?
A lot of people do.
I'm talking to you. I'm not talking about them.
Yes.
You view him as a.
So just in case y'all didn't catch that, he's talking about Clarence Thomas, the Black Supreme Court Justice. And because the word raccoon, spoon, the word that rhymes with spoon, but my channel ain't monetized. So, I guess I can say this. I guess I can say coon until I get my followers up, and then maybe they'll ban me for saying that. But that's the bleeped out word that they're saying. And right now they're debating if Clarence Thomas is a coon or not. And this is something that I see too many KEWNservatives do and say, y'all only calling us that because we conservative. No, we're calling you that stuff because you're running around like a silly buck broken bozo. You don't do any type of standing on business for the community. All you do is wag your fingers at the community that you've done nothing to uplift. You've done nothing to enrich. Imagine there's a coach. The coach has done nothing to better the team, nothing to mentor the players, nothing to make sure that everybody is in the right place and have all of the tools to succeed. But this same coach is on the sideline complaining about, man, this team needs to do this and this team ain't winning. And it's like, would you respect that? No, you haven't put in no sweat. You wasn't taking no shots with us in the gym. You wasn't doing no burpees with us on the field. So why should I respect your input? Clearly, you don't give a flip what happens to this team or community. You're just a sideline, side-busting spectator. And I really don't want to hear what you got to say. Let's commence.
Yes, and I want to ask why. Why do you view him as a?
Because he has looked down upon Black society and he's worked against Black society.
How so?
His whole career.
How so?
His whole career. He's talked against the Black community. What has he done in his position to help Black people collectively as a Supreme Court justice?
He literally fought against the same people that me and you don't support. The plantation, the Democratic plantation. He won. He the only Black man who won against them. No other Black man have smashed him.
Okay.
Do y'all hear what this fool is talking about? He won against the Democrats. What did he win? He won a seat for himself. Clarence Thomas used to be running around with the Black Panthers. Clarence Thomas was wokeity woke. Clarence Thomas was pro-blackity black. And then guess what he did? He got him some milk of magnesia. He starts swirling it up. Look, I don't care if you got jungle fever, right? Love who you love, do who you do. But when you start undermining and helping to disenfranchise your so-called community, just for a taste of the vanilla, I can't respect that. And this dude is saying Clarence Thomas did something for black people because he was a Supreme Court justice that went against Democrats. He went against Democrats mainly rhetorically, but he went against them. That wasn't on behalf of us. He wasn't like, look, I'm doing this so I can uplift, enrich, and empower the community. He is a self-serving, tap dancing stooge and a Sambo. That's all he is. Maybe he's smart. Maybe he's ambitious. Maybe he's successful. That doesn't take away anything that I just said in terms of his tap dancing proclivities. Clarence Thomas has done nothing to enrich the black community. Him being a figurehead for his individual success does nothing for the collective. Like right now, would you want your son to grow up and like, son, you can grow up and be like Clarence Thomas? Get the flip out of here. Let's commence.
But has he done? Okay. That's so that means nothing. So you're proving my point. He's done nothing. He's done nothing for the black community. So you just proved it. You misunderstanding about Clarence Thomas.
You view him as a right? Yes or no?
A lot of people do.
I'm talking to you. I'm not talking about them.
Yes.
You view him as a
yes,
and I want to ask why. Why do you view him as a?
Because he has looked down upon black society and he's worked against black society.
How so?
His whole career.
How so?
His whole career. He's talked against the black community. What has he done in his position to help black people collectively as a Supreme Court?
So when people are asking questions like this, well, how did Clarence Thomas undermine the community? So this dude could go on this bloviating lie and illogical fallacy talking about what he did do against, he fought the Democrats and won, right? He can go on this tirade about that, but he can't cite you all of the anti-black stuff that Clarence Thomas has done and said. Don't you guys notice that that's a weird pattern with these people? That they can always talk about the things that they perceive as good or virtuous moral qualities for the people that they want to praise and uplift. But they can never talk about the bad stuff that they done. And when they do finally concede the bad stuff, you're just supposed to overlook it. But they don't overlook it with you. If you owed somebody $10 in high school, did people overlook that? Then meanwhile, you got people working to undermine not just a small segment, an entire race of people, an entire ethnic group. And we're just supposed to just let that go. You didn't let that $10 go to somebody owed you, for a bag of chips in a Subway sandwich back when they was the $5 foot longs. Yeah, that's how long they've been owing you $10. You ain't let that go. But when it comes to not just Clarence Thomas, but just all of these KEWNservatives and their very vile and destructive Samboism, we're just supposed to let that go because they say one good thing here and there. Come on, man.
Court justice.
He literally fought against the same people that me and you don't support. The plantation, the Democratic plantation. He won. He the only black man who won against them. No other black man have smashed him.
Okay, what has he done? Okay, that's so that means nothing. So you're proving my point. He's done nothing. He's done nothing for the black community. So you just proved that.
I got a question. Did black people not turn on Clarence Thomas as a collective?
So now he's pivoting. He asked them specifically a very direct, poignant question. What the heck has Clarence Thomas ever done for the black community? Now, since he can't find anything, he's lied and said, yeah, he went against the Democrats and won. Yeah, no, he went against some other people. He was propped up so he can be this mascot, right? Him being a black face in a high place does nothing for the black community. Since this dude can't find anything that he does, now he's pivoting and saying the black community turned on Clarence Thomas. No, Clarence Thomas turned on the black community. Like, what the hell is this dude talking about? Terrence Thomas, he got him a taste of that a tall glass of the vanilla latte, and he didn't want nothing to do with Chocolate City. There was no gun to his head that forced him to do that.
He turned on the black community. What were we supposed to do with him?
How? They sided with Joe Biden. They sided with him, with the racists. We literally sided with him and left him all by himself.
Well, he's in power. Clarence Thomas is in the highest court of the land. What's stopping him from doing something?
Hold on. Joe Biden got elected in 2020. So hold on. Clarence Thomas start being a Sambo because we allegedly turned on him by voting for Joe Biden? Look, I'm sorry. A lot of people like to try to say, black people need to stop voting Democrat. You need to vote Republican. Okay, cool. Let's just say I vote Republican. If it's a bunch of conservative tap dancing clowns like this dude, that's not really a sales pitch. It's literally saying that the black community let Clarence Thomas down. So I didn't vote for Biden because, you know, the Democrats and the Republicans are two cheeks on the same booty, right? So if allegedly the black community let Clarence Thomas down by voting for Biden, the people that voted for Trump, did they big up Clarence Thomas? So all of the MAGA people that are voting for Trump, are they bigging up Clarence Thomas? Listen to how foolish and moronic this sounds. And this is a black conservative trying to wag his fingers and tell people that you don't need to be voting Democrat, which I agree with. But he's trying to tell you that, hey, get off the Democrat plantation and come to the Republican plantation. No, I don't want to do plantations at all. Y'all hear them conservatives like to say that a lot. Y'all on the Democrat plantation. Yeah, and you're on the Republican plantation. Imagine there was a Nike plantation and a Reebok plantation. Y'all on the Nike plantation. Yeah, you on the Reebok one. We both on plantations of different names. How about we get off the plantation entirely? But you ain't trying to do that. The conservatives are not trying to build anything. They haven't built anything. All they're trying to do is just get pats on the head from white massa, get buck broken by Brad Chad, and get them some snow bunny cooch. That's what most of these conservatives is on. Let's just be honest, man. Call it how it is. Let's commence.
For black society.
Like what? What would you prefer Clarence Thomas do? He literally put us on. He put us on about the lineage. He put us on game about that.
How he put us on it? He talked about it, but he didn't put us on game about it.
Yes, he did. He said we can't do it race based. We got to do it lineage. Before that,
we've known that. Hell, Claude Anderson's been saying that for 40 damn years.
Nobody was paying attention to it when Claude was saying it.
And nobody's paying attention to Clarence Thomas because and he argues in bad faith. He hasn't done anything for the black.
So I got a question. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you view?
You see how this dude keeps jumping from place to place and point to point? This is not a good showing for conservatism, right? I think that black people specifically, I'm talking to my people, every one of us should be independent. You can vote Democrat, you can vote Republican, you can vote third party, but you're supposed to vote policy, not party. And if neither party, none of the parties, including the Green Party, Libertarian, etc., if none of them are not putting forth tangible resources for you, then what you need to do is practice group economics, mutual aid, and empower yourselves without the political apparatus. Create your own political apparatus. It's just not run and beholden to the government. And then you build up a bigger, stronger, more organized voting bloc so that you can come with actual demands. Because if you're just blindly voting for them, why would they meet any of your demands? And they've already worked to replace you. I know people like the great replacement. That's a white supremacist talking point. No, actually, the great replacement is not a theory. It's a strategy, right? Yeah, many of these white bigots are saying, oh, they're replacing us. No, all they're trying to do is gentrify, which is just a sanitized version of ethnically cleanse, and they're just working to make black people's demands and their issues politically irrelevant. That's why you hear all of this immigrant talk. That's why you hear all of this LGBT talk, because those are supposed to be the new civil rights issues. Oh yeah, you blacks, you have got enough stuff. You got affirmative action. Yeah, but that mainly benefited white women and immigrants. So that wasn't for us. Yeah, but you guys got DEI. That mainly benefited white women and immigrants. So where's is all this stuff that you got? Oh, you guys got reparations. Oh, my bad. You guys didn't get reparations. We paid them to everybody else. You know what I mean? When you listen, say, oh, you guys were redline, you guys were dealt with Jim Crow and black codes, and you know how we're going to rectify that? We're going to bring in more immigrants that didn't experience that. That should help the black community, right? Like, huh? Black schools, your schools are failing, right? Because they're underfunded. So you know how we're going to fix the black schools? We're going to bring in a bunch of non-English speaking people, and then we're going to give them resources for them to learn English. That will help the black community, right? And you know, both parties get on board with it. The KEWNservatives, the KEWNservatives, and the All Lives Matter Democrats, when they say, look, we want to help the black community. So how we're going to help the black community is we're going to build a school in Uganda. Huh? How the hell does that help Chicago? You're crying about Chicago, and you want to help Chicago by building a school in Kuala Lumpur? Are you kidding me?
The Democrats in the same light.
You're barking up the wrong tree. No. Democrats.
No, I listen to you all the time. I hear you.
When have you ever heard me big up the damn Democrat?
Okay, now it looks like the chat is starting to rock. And if y'all are in there, hey, just, you know, salute to your boy. Salute the chat. The chat is chatting. And I gotta give a shout out to the lovely, the exquisite, the enchanting sunlight in the building. Let's commence.
You don't, but you don't view them as like you view Republicans.
What now?
You don't view them as in the same light.
Are you insane?
Like you view them. Listen, majority.
Are you insane?
Majority of black people vote blue. Majority of black people
insane.
Majority of black people. When you talk.
And look, for the KEWNservatives, yes, okay, we get it. The majority of black people vote Democrat. Fine. I agree. Black people need to stop voting Democrat in large numbers. But that doesn't inherently mean that, hey, stop voting Democrat so you can vote Republican. You're supposed to vote for your policy interests. Quid pro quo. I will give you my vote and you give me something. The tangibles that they offer and that they can give you are crumbs. So anything that they pass for you is a crumb. They're never gonna give you, they won't even give you a slice, and they definitely won't give you the whole pie. So whatever policy they give you is going to be crumbs. Now they're telling you that they don't even want to give you crumbs, but still vote because the Republicans are scary and the Republicans gonna take away health care. Well, I don't have health care now. They still gonna take it away. Yeah, but I don't have it. Your ancestors died for you to vote, huh? No, my ancestors died for freedom, not for you to blindly vote Democrat. That's not why your ancestor died. You notice they never say that when it comes to firearms, right? If I want to go buy 200 firearms, they never say your ancestors fought, bled, and died for you to have the right to bear arms. Why don't they never say that? It's always about voting. Vote or die. Remember this stuff? Vote or die? Huh? But they never say tangibles or die, reparations or die. Forget, okay, fine, you don't want to do reparations. What about the anti-black hate crime bill? What about specific policy? Because how are you going to target a group specifically, and then when it's time to rectify it, oh no, we can't help you specifically? Imagine that one person got beat up, right? And you say, you know what? Since you got beat up, that was wrong. And how I'm going to help you is I'm going to go to another city and compensate someone who wasn't even beat up because we don't want to see this happen in the future. That's what they do to black people. Oh my God, it's horrible what happened to you people. So we're going to give all your resources to an immigrant that it didn't happen to. And you can't say anything because that would be xenophobic. This is where we're at in politics. Let's commence.
Listen, stop. Slow down.
Okay.
Slow down. Calm down. All right, because you can't say something that's just emphatically false and then just keep babbling. No.
Okay.
Dude, I'm hell on the Democrats. They're full of the Congressional Black Caucus. I'm always clowning them for being coons.
Yeah, the Congressional Black Caucus, who I call the Congressional Black Caucus, and like Professor Black Truth says, the Congressional Black Talkers. Did you know the majority of them are non-FBA? And look, this is not my thing where, I just hate people of a different lineage and, people, immigrants. And no, I'm a humanitarian. I love everyone. But see, when people talk about accountability, see, with the black community, we're supposed to lay everything on the table. You guys are degenerate, fatherless homes, this and that, baby mama culture, STDs. They say everything. We're supposed to lay all that on the table. I say, fine, let's continue to lay that all on the table. But when we start to lay even a scintilla of what every other group's issues is on the table, suddenly, well, you can't talk about that, and you can't generalize the group. You generalized all black people because some musty, dusty, crusty nigga in Chicago does a drive-by. The black community has a violence problem. I don't know that goofy nigga that did a drive-by, but somehow I have to answer for him. Fine. When this MS-13 dude is over here molesting children and chopping off heads, the Hispanic community needs to answer for that. When these Asian kids are being trafficked in Asian illicit massage parlors, the Asian community needs to answer for that. Stop Asian hate. Stop Asian trafficking. When Jewish are becoming a safe haven for pedos in Israel, then it's the Jews. They got to answer for that, right? Oh, no, you can't say that. That's generalizing. Oh, the same generalizing y'all do to black people that y'all don't give a flying flip about? Well, hey, y'all know my acronym CESL, SESL. Same energy, same logic. Keep the same energy, apply the same logic. I notice when I do that, suddenly people don't want to keep the same energy, and the logic starts getting a little bit shaky. I'm just saying.
Pardon? Come on, really?
No more tethers. When you went on the radio station the other day.
Which one? I done a dozen radio interviews. Which one?
When you released microphone check, hey, the lady that was like, hey, the lady when you was in the thing and she was like, well.
No, Ashura, just to address Ashura's, no, the CBC, I think it's like 80 something members, and like 60 of them, 60 out of the 80 are non-FBA from immigrant backgrounds, actual immigrants, or they have an immigrant background. And there's nothing wrong with that. The issue is they come over here and they talk about black this, but all of their advocacy is for immigrants. They say we can't do anything for the black community, but they can do stuff for immigrants because they say, well, this is not race-based. Immigrants could be white, Hispanic, whatever. So, and both parties have got on this. Even the oligarchs, the bigwigs, they've got on board to not only replace, but displace us. You know what I mean? And many of the immigrants come over here, and very humble. Oh, thank you so much. They're just happy to be here. And many of them see FBAs speaking about, what's owed to us as kind of messing up their bag. So, we're supposed to just shut up and just take it. But nobody would take that. And go to any of these places: Haiti, Jamaica, Dominican Republic, go to Mexico, go to Spain. And as an immigrant, you think they gonna say, no one's illegal on stolen land? You think they gonna say that? You think they gonna go over there and talk about some all lives matter? You think they gonna go over there and roll out the carpet for a welfare program? But then we're supposed to do that. My ancestors was the one fighting, bleeding, dying for that, getting dog sick on it for that. And I'm not supposed to care about that. You think that they did that so tens of millions of illegal immigrants could just flood the border? And all of these people that just love these, we're a nation of immigrants. Okay, fine, then dump them in your neighborhood. Oh, no, we're going to dump them in a poor black neighborhood. Dump so many of them that now it's not even a black neighborhood. Come on now. And you're just supposed to accept that. Okay, fine. You know, since we're all people of color, go dump the Mexicans in Chinatown. Oh, the other air quote people of color don't want them over there. Go. You saw what happened when they got dumped in Martha's Vineyard. They got them up out of there. So I don't have an issue with immigrants. I'm a humanitarian. I love everybody. But the majority of immigrants come over here and they're immigrant first. They focus on immigrant rights, which can be conflicting on FBA. We're trying to claim what's ours here. And then we have immigrants coming over cosplaying as us. And then they're using our political capital to enrich other immigrants while telling us, pull yourself up by your bootstrap. Okay, if that's the energy that we have, then pull yourself up by your bootstrap in your homeland. This is not your homeland.
Well, they black, but you like, well, they not foundational black Americans. It was like the first one. You live stream.
Was it Dominique DePrimo? Okay, what
yeah,
you gotta put it in context.
And
okay,
then she was like, some. You was like, the tethers, y'all don't snatch up, you like, we call out our, and then all the you named, quote unquote, was black conservatives. You like Clarence.
Shout out to Sunlight. Okay, she gonna make me get mad. Why do the Jays get annoyed when they get called YT? You know what? I don't give a flying fizzle sticks what they get mad at. This is not me. I tell people, don't take my word for it. You know, ChatGPT, Grok, Copilot, Google, Gemini, these are all reputable AI sources that y'all consider way more smarter and sophisticated than me. According to the lowest estimate, 85% of the Jays in America identify as racially white. The solid number that I've seen, and this is according to Pew Research, Brookings, and everything else, but like I said, do not take my word for it. I've given you, I can lead you to water. I just can't drink it for you. So the solid number that I've been seeing, 92% of American Jews identify as racially white. So look, which group has the power? Which group has the acumen? Which group has the resources? Which group has the backing of, seem like, the entire world? If Jewish is a race, why are they not fighting to get it on the census? And this is lightweight infuriating, because if you call them white, it's like, you can't call me white, but then I look at your paper, but it's like, you check the white box. Imagine someone saying, hey, what's your favorite sports team? You check the box of the Lakers, and I say, oh yeah, this person's a Lakers fan. Don't call me a Lakers fan. You told me that the Lakers was your favorite team, and you checked the box saying you was a Lakers fan. Now I call you a Lakers fan and you're getting mad? What else should I call you? Don't call Jews white, even though we checked the white box. Huh? Jewish is not a race, and if it is a race, why haven't y'all got it on the census? Guess what they did get on the census? MENA. Does anyone know what MENA is? MENA, Middle Eastern North African. If they can get that on the U.S. Census, you think that the Jews can't get Jewish as a race? And if they can get it as a race, why haven't they? Because they like to keep things nebulous. Jewish is not a race. You can be black and Jewish, Latino and Jewish, white and Jewish. But when you call out someone who's clearly a European Jewish person and you call them white, Jews are not white. I know some people that, that I at least that I'm cordial with, and they'll try to argue with me blue in the face that how Jews are not white. Where is the delineation movement among white people, right? You could at least see FBA saying, look, hey, we love everybody. but we're all not just one big global Negro. We have a different lineage, heritage, and cultural background than Jamaicans, Haitians, Congolese, etc. We could all come together. We could all, lift up each other, love each other, but we can't do it as painting us as one big global Negro, right? Why the whites ain't doing that with Jews? There's many of them. It's the Jews. Okay, well, yeah, the Jews on the slave ships. Okay, why was y'all working with the Jews? If they were so bad, why was y'all working with them? If Jews being white is so bad, why isn't there a massive push to delineate? So I don't want to hear anybody crying about Jews not being white. Like I said, 92% of American Jews identify as racially white. And even the Jews that are Israeli, when they come over here, what are they? Are they white? Are they Middle Eastern? Middle Eastern is not a race. Middle East is just a made up stuff, just like Sub-Saharan. But hey, fine. Can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. What race is Middle Eastern? I mean, many of them say that they're Asiatic. So are the Israeli Jews that come over here Asian, or are they white? Like I said, you can't even ask this question because that would be anti-Semitic. So I'll just go with Pew Research and Brookings. 92% of American Jews identify as racially white. Don't take my word for it.
Thomas,
right?
Larry Elder. You didn't say one Democratic shield.
Well, it wasn't.
That was foundational Black American. That's all I'm saying.
That wasn't a time for me to just go off on a rant. Listen, we had a whole award show where we were giving the left wing and right wing people, dude. We had the Train Awards, and we were giving them out to everybody. It wasn't about no political party.
So Ashura says Middle Eastern, North African. That's a mouthful just to say African. Well, many Middle Easterners, because like I said, Middle East is just some made up stuff that people, where's the Middle North? Where's the Middle West? It's just some made up stuff to try to say, hey, look, these Africans are not like you Sub-Saharans, which is some other made up stuff. You know what I mean? All of these terms are fairly new, but people just kind of went with it. That's where the term "I'm white and I say so" applies to this. They just said, oh, these people are Sub-Saharan. So when someone says they're Middle Eastern, what they're trying to do is distance themselves from Africa, because when you think of Africans, you think of black, dark-skinned, melanated people, and they're saying, yeah, we're African, but we're not like y'all. So that's why we're Middle Eastern, and they won't even, they won't say that they have African ancestry. They'll claim more Asiatic ancestry than anything. Another thing they like to do is try to say, hey, look, and up until now, the Middle Easterners, they've all been classified as white. You come over here, you're Palestinian, you're Lebanese, you're Syrian. Guess what you're classified as? White. So the Middle Eastern, North African, that's not even on the census yet. It will be on the census in 2030. So what have they been classified as? So it's not just the Jews that have been classified as white. It's some dark-skinned Africans that have been classified as white. Hispanic is not a race. Why do you think they have no issue pandering towards Hispanics? Paul Mooney talked about this. When they're talking about Hispanics, those are just white people that speak Spanish. Spain isn't where? Remind me where Spain is again? Oh, would it be Europe? So their ancestry is European, but you don't think that they're white? Huh? Hispanic is not a race. There's black Hispanics, Asian Hispanics, but it's another nebulous term, and it's supposed to be non-black. And when you think of Hispanic, you think of some dude with a sombrero. But what about all the black Brazilians? What about all the black people in DR? Not the ones that say, I know Black Poppy. What about them? They're Hispanic too, but that's not the face of Hispanics. You thinking of some Mejoró la Raza, Blanqueamiento, Telemundo. That's what you thinking about of Hispanic. And that's why both parties are okay with, yeah, look, we need to uplift the Hispanics. And look, Trump did really well with the Hispanic vote. You mean with other white people? This is not my word. Just like the Jays, look it up. According to Pew Research, close to, I'll just say the majority, because the numbers fluctuate, The majority of Hispanics in America identify as racially white. There's no gun to their head forcing them to choose that. Fat Joe, Fat Joe. I grew up in the Bronx. I grew up around black people. I say nigga more than black people. Fat Joe, nigga all day. Fat Joe gets arrested. Guess what race he's listed as? White. Not Latino, not Hispanic, white.
Party. See, I don't play that political party thing. I'm nonpartisan. No. I don't do that. Because
you go after them. I just don't feel like you keep the same energy. I feel like you pick and choose.
Is a dude. We do. What's the difference? What's the difference between a Republican and a Democratic? What's the difference?
Republicans do not undermine foundational Black Americans.
The hell they don't.
Did y'all hear what this fool just said? Republicans don't undermine foundational Black Americans? Or I present to you Kundis Owens. Kundis Owens, who's Caribbean, by the way. Shout out to the Caribbeans. I love my Caribbean family. Kundis Owens, this is not my words. This is what Candace Owens said. She has a Caribbean bias because she identifies as Caribbean. So when there's a story about some Caribbean depravity or, Caribbean miscreants, she goes out of her way to avoid those stories. But guess who she will talk about? FBAs, Black Americans, because they've always delineated. Now when we start doing it, people want to call us divisive. Nobody was calling Candace Owens divisive when she was out there lying on us, saying George Floyd died from fentanyl and all this stuff. Where were her fellow Caribbeans to call her out? Guess who was calling her out? FBAs. So then when we start calling out the Caribbeans and Africans and calling them tethers, just like you guys called us tethers, okay? I mean, tether, no one in this country has the history of being lynched because they were called a tether. There are people lynched because they were being called nigger, though. So y'all come over here and don't really care about that, right? Oh, whatever, it's just a word, get over it. Well, y'all can just get over the word tether. And tether is an action-based word. You're not just a tether just because you are an immigrant or not of the lineage. It's you did something to undermine us, and you also are cosplaying and tethering onto accomplishments, cultural achievements, and cultural sovereignty that doesn't belong to you. But where are the Caribbeans to call out Kundis Owens? Then you got other homegrown Sambos like Officer Fakem. What has he done to uplift the community? And all of these people, like I said, I don't care if you got jungle fever. I don't care if you prefer vanilla ice cream to chocolate ice cream, but there does seem to be a pattern. Kundis Owens, she has, a tall glass of milk. Officer Fakem, he has another vanilla latte with pumpkin spice on it. And then you just keep going down the list of these KEWNservatives, and they all got a white partner. It's not fine. I don't care, be with who you want to be with. But there is an issue for you to have a white partner and you always sitting up there denigrating Black people. And then they have kids. For instance, Candace Owens has kids. She doesn't say her kids are Black. She said her kids are mixed. And see, this is the whole issue with the biracial in the mixed community. When I grew up, we subscribed, unfortunately, we subscribed to the racist colonial one drop rule. One drop of Negro, hey, you're just like us. We wasn't saying you're not like us. We were saying even with one drop and you look like Mariah Carey, you're just like us. But then we start finding out that many of these, not all, but many of these mixed race people, they desire to be whatever their other half is that they think they're doing better than the Black side. They want to, oh, here, let me use the Black side to say nigga, right? Even though I'm super light, one of my parents is Black and that's why I'm saying nigga. But they never say one of my parents is Black and that's why I support reparations. One of my parents is Black and that's why I want to build this business for the community. They always say one of my parents is Black and that's why I want to do this depraved, dysfunctional stuff. But on my other side of the family, I want to uplift and hold that in high esteem and virtue. It's like, no. And then they try to say, oh, the black community is colorist and y'all can't gatekeep blackness. Actually, we can. See, I was born black. I'm a die black. I go to China, I'm black. You know, I go to Brazil, I'm black. I go to Singapore, I'm black. Other people, they go to Oakland, they black. They go to Utah, I'm mixed. You know what I mean? They go to New York, I'm Hispanic. It's like, yeah, man, you know, you're gonna have to hold your own candle with that. Like we can't act like, you know, we're all building towards something better. And I have no issue with how people identify. It's just the tethering. You know, you can't say that you a zebra one day and then a stallion the other day. It's like, nah, if you're a zebra, like them stripes ain't coming off. If you're black, it's not coming off. So sometimes people, they just kind of want to discard the blackness, you know. They want to be black around the black so they can say nigga and then get around non-blacks and discard the blackness. No, I'm not like the blacks. I'm mixed. Okay. Well, when you got people is giving you mixed signals, don't act confused.
We push against immigration.
Candace Owens don't undermine us?
She's the tether. I'm talking about foundational Black American Republicans.
Right. And
that's the only thing I agree with this dude on, that Candace Owens is a tether.
There's a handful of foundational Black American Republicans who are on that thing. It's a very small handful of them. A lot of them are tethers, to be honest.
But you just throw us in the because we are Republicans. That's what you do.
No,
you don't have to do nothing.
No, I don't.
You just be okay. Give them red. They believe in MAGA. Hey, you don't. We look at.
I've not said that. When have I said that, sir?
You say it all. You every time you talk about Republicans.
That's not true, sir. You're not being honest. You're arguing bad faith now. That's not good business. You're arguing because now you're kind of projecting. I think you view yourself.
All right, and shout out to IE Knock the Elect. Says Hispanic, and I don't know if you are he or she, so I'm gonna say they. I don't want to misgender you or, you know, give you the wrong pronouns. So Enoch says Hispanic was classified as white into the 1980s when Ronald Reagan refused to enact affirmative action to only blacks. So they made them a minority group. Yes, a minority group, but also a buffer group to replace and displace us. Yes, we'll still be here physically, but they were here to replace us in terms of our demands, displace us in terms to make us politically irrelevant, and to also further disenfranchise us. And many of us, we went along with it because, you know, we believed in a rising tide, lift all boats. We were the only ones believing in that people of color, black and brown talk. And unfortunately, people used our kindness for our weakness. Like a lot of the Hispanics, they came over here and they were humbling themselves. Oh, hi, yeah, you know, we're just happy to be here. And then as soon as they got the numbers up, and many of these enclaves, they violently and brutally, with the help of the Democrats and law enforcement, they ethnically cleansed the black people out of there. Once again, don't take my word for it. If you think I'm just being woke and race baiting, look it up, especially in LA. See, you can find many instances of Latino gangbangers spraying NK. What does NK mean? Nigger killer. But you won't find the incidents. Just find me one incident of some black people going in their neighborhoods and spraying HK, Hispanic killer, Mexican killer, any of that stuff. You won't find it. And then this is where it gets a little bit dicey. So if black people retaliate, see, they're just violent. So us retaliating, you know, we're considered violent. But then And that will be generalized the whole black community. Oh, you guys got a gang problem. Notice how they always talk about that we have a gang culture problem. Guess what gangs are bigger than any black gang? Hispanic gangs. The Hispanic gangs are bigger. The Hispanic gangs are more organized. But I mean, that's more cultural than anything. But guess who gets blamed for having gang culture? I can name people when they talk about blacks, they talk about the Crips and Bloods, and that's it, right? Oh, the Crips do this. Oh, the Bloods do this. Okay, what about MS-13? Bigger than them. What about the Mexican Mafia? Bigger than them. What about Tren de Aragua? Bigger than them. What about the Latin Kings? Bigger than them. I just named all 4 off the top that's bigger than the Crips and Bloods, more organized than the Crips and Blood, more violent than the Crips and Bloods. But people don't want to generalize Latinos as having gang culture. How many in the chat even know anybody that's a Crip or a Blood? But everybody, and this is facts. I'm in California, so maybe it's a demographic thing. Every Hispanic person that I know has either been in a gang or they have a family member that gang bang. But I mean, that's just life. No, like we don't see it as just like, okay, cool, now the community is horrible. We don't see it as just the community is degenerate, because people could have been in a gang for various reasons. See, it's just all on the framing. But when you flip that around and say, oh, every black person that you know has either been in a gang or know a gang member. See, it's because of fatherless homes, and that's why. And y'all was better during Jim Crow. It's like, huh? How'd you get that? It's the same scenario when it's Hispanic. Suddenly, this is the same thing too that they do with immigration, right? They'll talk about Chicago as a war zone so much that they call it Chirac. Okay, cool. I'm living in Chirac with my young boys. Where can my kids go, so we can flee this gang violence? Shut up, nigger. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Then you got some Mexican for Tijuana. He's fleeing gang violence from the cartel. So we need to bring him over here and give him debit cards and give him job training. Okay, what's the difference? This person was brought over here to be cheap labor, a buffer group, and to replace and displace. It's not a theory, it's a strategy. It doesn't take a high IQ to figure this out. See, the issue is that people, too many of us let people play in our face. We have to get people to crash out. You need more people saying nigger. You need more people saying this, not because I just want to hear people say that, but this is how people feel. And we need these sentiments out in the open so people can stop pretending that, we're in this post-racial society. Because how many times, man, y'all talk about slavery too much. No, actually you don't. If you kick it with a black person 9.9 times out of 10, nobody is going to bring up slavery. So who the hell is these people talking about slavery so much? And mind you, it's always some KEWNservatives talking about slavery, saying that, man, y'all need to stop talking about slavery. But you're talking about slavery. Imagine I'm saying, man, people need to stop talking about love and hip hop and those baddies show. And then I make a podcast. Man, people need to stop talking about the love and hip hops and baddies, man, because look, man, people just keep talking about baddies and love and hip hop. And if people keep talking about, it's like, bro, you're talking about everything that you said people should stop talking about. You say we should stop talking about slavery, and then you make a content talking about why y'all keep talking about slavery, why you keep making content about it in an underhanded way to make it seem like you're not talking about that shit. And this is what many of the tap dancing sambos on the KEWNservative side do. That now there's a lot of samboism on the lefty side as well. It's just different. The lefty sambos do this all lives matter stuff where they kind of buck break themselves and say, yeah, we'll be the political doormat in the name of solidarity. And once you get stepped on, pooped on, spit on, peed on, you're just left holding the bag. And then you still have this hope of solidarity of people that gave you their ass to kiss. Meanwhile, with the sambos, they already know that they're the tokens. They're just trying to be, the best, shiniest token that they can possibly be. They want to be the only token in the room. You know what I mean? So it's just two sides to the same samboism. But let's get back into the video.
Kind of as coonish, and you think everybody's talking about you, sir.
We push against immigration.
Candace Owens don't undermine us.
She's the tether. I'm talking about foundational Black American Republicans.
Right, and there's a handful of foundational Black American Republicans who are on that thing. It's a very small handful of them. A lot of them are tethers, to be honest.
Looks like the chat is chatting. We got none other than Ozzy Oxenfree. What it do? And we've been joined by the illest and the realest Israelite on 2 feet, Travion, in building.
But you just throw us in the because we are Republicans. That's what you do.
No,
you
I
don't have to do nothing.
No, I don't.
You just
There's
be like, okay, they were red. They believe in MAGA. Hey, they. You don't. We look at.
That.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Like Sunlight makes a good point. Who the hell is asking for these slave movies? Like, for reals? Like, did y'all ask for 12 Years a Slave? Did y'all ask for The Woman King? You know, and I have my issues with that. Just even calling somebody the Woman King, that's some toxic feminist stuff. Because right now there would be, so people will hear the Woman King and think that that's cool. But if you try to make a movie called The Man Queen, oh hell no, I ain't watching that. Okay, you don't want to watch The Man Queen, so why the hell would I want to watch The Woman King? That doesn't even make sense. And not only that, the homie tribe that they depicted was part of the brutal slave owning tribe. When they say, your people sold you. No, those wasn't my people. That's why they sold us. It's think of it like this: some Crips and some Bloods. Some Crips got some Bloods captive, and they like, yeah, man, you want some blood slaves, man? Y'all can take them niggas. Do you think the Crips would say, yeah, we sold our own people? No, they didn't view them as their own people. See, like people always say, the race is a social construct. So people didn't look and say, okay, we have the same or similar levels of melanin contact, so that means we're the same. Go on Africa right now. There's over 3,000 tribes, 2,000 different dialects. They're not united in Africa right now. There's a lot of tribal stuff going on. So people already know, the nuances of this stuff, but they still want to keep bringing up, they still want to keep bringing up slavery, but from a revisionist history part. These are the people that still talk about it. They had Jillian Michaels, like not too long ago, talking about, did you know only 2% of whites own slaves? It's like, if y'all want us to stop talking about it, why are you finding ways to justify it and say, hey, we ended slavery, so it's really mainly the whites or the YTs, or I call the W's. They're the ones mainly talking about this shit. When you kick it with your black homies, for reals, like, just think about it. When is the last time slavery even came up? We don't sit around twiddling our thumbs talking about slavery all the time. But guess who does talk about it? KEWNservatives, white people talk about slavery all the time. And fine, okay, let's just concede that point. We need to shut up about slavery. Shut up, nigger. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Stop talking about slavery. Cool. Same energy, same logic. Okay, now go tell the Jewish people, because slavery happened for hundreds of years. Jim Crow, hundreds of years. The Holocaust, which we survived our own American Holocaust, the Holocaust didn't happen for hundreds of years. So go tell Jewish people to get over it. And then that shows how cowardly you are. You want to tell us to get over something that happens for hundreds of years, but you're just too much of a pussy to go tell Jewish people to get over it. And how could you say, oh, no, Jewish people, they don't have to get over it. Never forget. But you want us to forget? I don't talk about slavery all day, but even if I did, let's just say that I did. If it happened for 400 years, then I should probably talk about it for 400 years. It happened for 400 years and you only want me to talk about it for 10 years? Are you kidding me?
When have I said that, sir?
You say it all. You every time you talk about Republicans.
That's not true, sir. You're not being honest. You're arguing bad faith now. That's not good business. You're arguing because now you're kind of projecting. I think you view yourself kind of as coonish, and you think everybody's talking about you, sir.
No.
I agree with that. A lot of these conservatives and clownservatives, they like to project and they try to say the black community called me a coon. Like, yeah, they called you a coon because you was acting like one. They didn't say that, okay, you're a conservative with a white woman, so you're automatically a coon. No, you was over there tap dancing like it was Miss Daisy, and that's why they start calling you a coon. It was your actions, not how you identified. Many, I think, Frederick Douglass, Malcolm X, many of our public figures and leaders before, many of them, whether they openly identified as Republican or conservative, they had conservative values in those dispositions, but all of them were B1. They uplifted every group because they believed in helping the oppressed and marginalized everywhere. But when you say B1, that means black first, black primarily. It doesn't mean black only. For many it does, but for most it doesn't. What we mean is that, look, we've been trying to help. We've been trying to save the world. But before we help and save the world, we need to help and save us. But many other groups are saying, no, don't save yourself, save us. And if you don't want to save immigrants before you save the FBA community, that's xenophobic. If you don't put Jews before FBAs, that's anti-Semitic. But it's kind of like a one-way ticket, you know what I mean? So if I say, hey, Hispanics, like, y'all came and just displaced the black neighborhood. If y'all don't put the native born black American community first, that's anti-black. They'll be like, cállate, pinche meate.
I think that's what it is. But I'm cool with black conservatives who are not. Our sister Whitley Yates, a beautiful sister. She's a big time conservative, black girl. Sweetest thing in the world. Love that sister to life.
So I got a question for you.
She's not
Why
a cool.
Every time black conservatives say out like true statements about black people, you view that as like
because you're many of you guys are performing. It's performative. It's a bad faith argument. You understand that the white supremacists in the Republican Party and the white supremacist conservatives, they like to kind of throw a couple of shekels at Negroes to spew their white supremacist talking points for them.
That's true.
And the arguments are always in bad faith. So
not
that's
all the time. If Larry Elder come out and say anything that's true about black people, you view it as foolish.
Like, but Larry Elder is a Sambo. He's a more Sambo. So
what have Larry Elder did to undermine foundation?
All he does is sit up there and try to act as a mouthpiece for white supremacy.
So this is not a strong showing for the conservatives. So he keeps bringing up Clarence Thomas. He's bringing up known Sambos and trying to say, well, why are the black community calling them coons? They acting like coons. Larry Elder, who is another bunny hopper. You guys see a pattern? Like I said, if you like to play in the snow and make snow angels, I'm sure it's fun. It's a great thing to do. But once you start playing in the snow and start saying, I hate chocolate, I hate black skin, I hate the black of Forrest Whitaker's neck, you start being on that and you hate everything black just because you want to play in the snow. And then you're like, why are you calling me a coon? What has Larry Elder ever done? Larry Elder goes around talking about fatherless homes. Okay, Larry Elder, what has he done to uplift black fathers? What has he done to mentor the youth? Instead, he's just saying, you guys don't have a father. Okay, so let's just say that these kids don't have a father. How does that help them? Well, y'all don't have a father. Okay, so how does that help them? Well, in Jim Crow, they had fathers. Okay, so how does that help them in 2025? In Jim Crow, the black family was together. This is Larry Elder. This is Byron Donalds. All of these bozos, they have these canned talking points, but no solutions. And then people turn around and saying, they're just holding the black community accountable. How is getting on a podcast complaining about the black community when you're doing nothing to fix the problem? How is that accountability? That sounds like some whiny hoe shit to me.
We know what the truth is. The truth is white supremacy. We don't need more Negroes sitting up here telling us what the problem is. What are you doing to help fix it, Negro? That's the question. Because listen to me. Because if you're going to criticize, here's my thing. If you're going to say anything critical to black society, you better show a goddamn solution. You better show something that you've done constructively to help Black society. I'm critical of a lot of things that happens in Black society, but you look at my track record, I have funded so many Black schools around this country. I have bailed folks out of jail. I done paid for people's housing. I done put people on in movies. I done made stars out of activists out here. I've helped a lot of people, and I've put together rallies and seminars and events to give people voices, to put people up on game. I've done a lot of things to help people in the community. I can walk around in the community and get love. So I could be somewhat critical of some of the action because it's coming from a place of love and real concern. If you sit up here and just get around white folks talking about how Black folks ain't shit and what about Black on Black crime, and you ain't done nothing, then you understand?
So how can you fix something like Black on Black crime? Like y'all don't even want us to speak about it. Like whenever a black Republican speak about it, it's like, oh, he a cool. Like, it's like,
here we go again. Y'all don't want us to speak about it, bruh. Black on Black crime is the most spoken on shit in the world. I've already laid out that the Hispanic gangs, bigger, more organized, more violent. Show me a video. Can anyone in the chat point me to a creator talking about brown on brown crime? I already showed you, according to Pew Research, most Latinos don't even identify as brown. Most Latinos in America identify as racially white. So where the hell is this black and brown coalition anyways? We supposed to have a black and brown coalition with other white people? How is that a black and brown coalition when the majority of them identifying as white? But even the ones that are identifying as brown, show me one video of them talking about brown on brown crime. You got multiple people, whether it's Kundis Owens, Anthony Bryan Logan, Charleston Coonston White, Kuntan Daniels, Officer Fakem. All of these goofy people talk about, well, what about Chicago? And what about black on black crime? Find me the equivalent in the white neighborhood. Charlie Kirk, deleted, excommunicado, annihilated, obliterated by a fellow white person. Show me the pundit calling that white on white crime. In Ukraine right now, white blue-eyed Ukrainians are fighting white blue-eyed Russians. Guess what they're doing? Slaughtering each other to the tunes of hundreds of thousands. Guess what that is? White on white war, white on white crime. No one is calling that. 2 people die in Chicago. They don't even know who did it, and they're like, it was black on black crime. How is it black on black crime when they said it's an unsolved mystery? Oh, well, it was in a black neighborhood, so it had to be black people. Black on black crime. Okay, fine. We'll hold that. 3 murders that shouldn't have happened in Chicago versus 300,000 white bodies being slaughtered in a pointless war. No one is calling that white on white crime.
Like, we just
what about black on black crime? What about it?
And when we say that,
what's your view on black crime? What's your view?
Hold on. When we talk about black on black crime, we're not talking about it, well, not all the time, right? I'm not speaking for Candace Owens. We're not talking about it to be a coon. We're talking about it because we view it as a real problem. Like we grow up in the hood and we become successful. So we don't view the people we lost and like, oh, okay, they gone. Like we still view that stuff as a problem.
Nigga, you don't live in the hood right now. See, this now this dude is starting to get on my nerves, bro, because these coon and KEWNservatives, bro, y'all are not witty. You're not smart. When we grew up in the hood, man. Nigga, if you grew up in the hood, what did you do? That was your hood. Why you didn't clean up your hood? Instead, you moved out of your hood. So why are you still complaining about a hood that you moved out of? Let's just use the sports analogy. If I was on the Lakers and then I say, you know what, man, the Lakers, man, this team is just full of stuff, man. I'm going to move on to another team, and now I'm on the Warriors, and now I want to talk about what the Lakers need to do. Like, you're not on the team no more, bruh. You moved on. You're on a different team, a different gym, a different arena. Go focus on what you're doing over there, right? So you moved out of the hood, right? You moved out of the hood because you couldn't cut the mustard. You didn't want to tolerate it. You didn't want to see niggas doing nigga shit. I get it. I understand. So why are you over there living the high life in the burbs next to the non-blacks, right? But you're still whining about the blacks that you don't live next to? I mean, that sounds like some very effeminate, emasculated, messy hoe shit. If you was with a girl and you was like, man, I can't stand this hoe, and then you get a new chick and she does everything that you want for you, you feel me? She's suck your D from the back and make you a sandwich afterwards. You living the good life, YOLO. You only live once, right? But all of your time is spent talking about your ex, who you didn't want. That's just a fat, funky floozy. Would that make any sense? So if the black community is just this disgusting cesspool that everybody wants to leave, you've left. Why are you talking about a place that you left and don't want to go back? Oh man, I'm just trying to hold them accountable. How are you holding the hood accountable by talking about it? The dusty niggas is still gonna be dusty after you make that podcast. You're not trying to change their life. You're not trying to give them any opportunities. You're not trying to mentor them. You're not trying to do any form of mutual aid, but you are trying to make yourself a little bit of coin, a little bit of shillings, a little bit of shekels by making content, talking about accountability. Nigga, you haven't even held yourself accountable. You didn't hold your community accountable. You ran from accountability. If you really want to hold the black community accountable in the hood, why didn't you help change the conditions of the hood? You ran from the hood. You didn't change no conditions. So nigga, if you run from the team, you abdicate the responsibility of trying to wag your fingers. Go worry about whatever lily white burbs you live in. You're living a good life. You eating avocado toast every day. Kick your feet up and stop worrying about the hood. They always talk about, man, y'all be degenerate in this. Nigga, why are you talking about degenerate shit all day? Why you're not talking about sophisticated intellectual stuff all day? Instead, you talking about, well, Sexy Red said this. Nigga, why are you a fucking 45, 50-year-old man? Why are you listening to Sexy Red?
Okay, got it. Now, what's your views on black crime?
It's a problem.
Okay, what's the problem with it?
A lot of black people get killed. Like, I don't understand what you mean. What's the problem? It needs to stop. Like, it shouldn't be a thing.
Don't all crime need to stop?
I don't care. But then
why are you saying that? Well, okay, why are you telling us that crime needs to stop as if we're complicit in the shit? We don't have a system.
You know how people like to say all lives matter, all crime matters, right? So why y'all only focus on black crime? Shouldn't it? And mind you, remember the people, I don't see color. Why do you have to make it about race? You know, the people that say that, but then suddenly when it's crime, what do they always want to make crime about? You guys make everything about race. And then when it comes to crime, that's the first thing they want to do is make it about race. It's funny. The whole usual suspects didn't do nothing. They're obsessed with race, but they want to tell you to stop making it about race. You know, they'll say, stop talking about race. I don't see color. You're right. You know, we're all just Americans. And then a drive-by happens in Chicago. God damn it, the blacks. It's like, why didn't you say those Americans or those citizens? Why are you making it racial?
System that facilitates crime. We're not complicit in crime. So what are you telling us that for?
You're not, but it's other black people that uplift our negative behavior. Is that not true?
Name the institution that black people are using to facilitate crime that we control.
You said an institution?
Right.
And you gotta always ask these Sambos, the tap dancers, the tethers, the KEWNservatives, like Tariq asks, name, because you know, we got an issue with crime, black on black crime and degeneracy. Okay, cool. Name the institution that we control that promotes degeneracy. Oh, rap music. Okay, do we control that? No, but you know, they're making this degenerate music. Okay, cool. So wouldn't you want to go to the supplier? It's like you have an issue with OnlyFans models, but you're mad at the OnlyFans model versus the OnlyFans platform. Who is running the show? Those models are using that platform to make a living, but they're not the plug. So instead of going after the plug, you want to go after the nickel and dimer. And that's what they want to do. Well, you guys make this rap music. Okay, cool. If this music is so disgusting, so degenerate and deplorable, why are the majority of the consumers non-black? And the majority are white people. So they'll wag your fingers. Y'all need to stop talking about race. Y'all need to stop talking about degenerate stuff. Okay, how about y'all need to stop buying degenerate stuff? How about that?
Because that means that there's some because there has to be some kind of centralized institution that's facilitating crime if you're going to wag the finger to black people about crime.
I think he sporadically does spaces. He mainly has been on TikTok because I think on TikTok they had from what I heard, he likes the interface better. Also, I guess it has been lucrative for him monetarily because people can send you gifts and all sorts of things like that on the live stream. So that's from what I heard. So I did miss his Twitter spaces. So I think he sporadically does them, but he has made his shift to TikTok. So he seems to be getting a lot of love on there. But let's get back into it.
Who's facilitating it?
No, I'm not arguing about who's pushing the music industry and pushing all that.
I didn't say that. I didn't say nothing about it. I didn't say anything about the music industry. No, because this argument is always listen to what I'm saying. Because black people,
bro, if you gonna come with these anti-black coonish talking points, man, be able to flush your stuff out. He's talking about, well, I'm not even talking about the music industry. Yeah, at some point it's gonna get to the music industry. When people start talking about the air quote degeneracy, that's all they're talking about, because what else degenerate are you talking about? You don't really know what people are doing in their households and the degenerate stuff that they accuse us of. Okay, fine. If we're degenerate because we have sexy red music that a lot of white people are listening to, look up what racial demographic, because don't take my words for it, because I'm just a low IQ thuggish monkey, right? So don't take my word for it. Look this up. What group is overly represented in bestiality crimes, meaning having intimate relations with pets and other animals, right? And when you find out what racial group that is, should I generalize that whole group and say this is just their culture, right? Look up what racial group is disproportionately charged for these pedo crimes. And these kitty videos that are XXX rated. Should I generalize the whole group and say, hey, look, man, every time I look at these XXX rated kitty videos, your racial group is overrepresented. This is a cultural issue. Is it because of fatherless homes?
We don't control any institution. We don't control no institutions whatsoever, but we're all complicit in crime. We're all made to be complicit in some dusty nigga robbing a liquor store or whatever. We're supposed to be responsible for that. How are we?
He laughing and giggling like a little hoe, but no, it's seriously. They'll say, man, the black people don't stick together. Black people aren't organized. And then a crime happens in Oakland. See, the black community, man, they co-signed it. So if we were so unorganized, how the hell did we come together to commit a crime that any of us didn't know about, right? If we're unorganized on the regular, wouldn't we be unorganized with crime? So how the hell could we run some criminal enterprise when we're not even organized, right?
You're responsible for that as black people.
I don't believe all black people is responsible for it.
Because Asian people, hold on. Okay. People don't do that with Asian people. They have whole criminal enterprises. You don't make the whole Asian community complicit with the Yakuzas and the triads and all of the crime families and the large amount of organized criminal gangs within Asian society.
In Asian society, when people say, oh, the Chinese are bringing in fentanyl, And right now, what is a more danger to especially to a lily white community? Fentanyl or black on black crime? Is literally in the title, black on black crime. And when people say, what about Chicago and Oakland? Have you been to Oakland? No, but I heard about it. Okay, do you plan on going to Oakland? No. So you don't want to go, you've never been, but you're whining about a place that you've never been to? Does that make any sense to you? Trying to make it seem like it's the boogeyman and that as soon as you set foot there, you're going to be slaughtered. No. And many of you have white privilege, so if you go there, nothing is going to happen to you.
Bring a lot of drugs and guns and fentanyl and all that stuff over here. And
I also want to say, many of these non-black groups, they are the plug. Asians are known for having heavy artillery, you know what I mean? All sorts of weaponry and different types of firepower. But if you see a black dude making an Instagram video, a foolish self-snitching dude that's dancing with a Draco, see, man, that's y'all culture. So one goofy nigga who grew up without a dad dancing on Instagram video with a Draco means that the black community has a degenerate problem. But then this Asian company that's mass producing firearms, there's one kid with one gun dancing. And then meanwhile, there's a factory of hundreds, if not thousands of Asians manufacturing thousands, if not millions of guns. But that's not a cultural issue. And that's not degeneracy because, well, they're just trying to make a living. But then but if we turn around and say, okay, cool, let us just make a living. And we just need some grants and some resources so we can start, just mass producing firearms. But we want to do it in a safe, responsible way. Do you think people will say, yeah, man, that sounds like a great idea? It sounds great if the model minorities are doing it, but the blacks, no, we can't have them mass producing firearms. So you're admitting that we're not doing that, but yet you're still trying to make us the face of crime, when clearly we are the small fries when it comes to crime. Because like I said, all these other groups, they are the actual plug. You know what I mean? When it comes to having big weight of drugs, coke, firearm, but somehow they want black people to be the mascot of crime. Nah, man. Let the real big wigs and power brokers of crime, would y'all please stand up?
Large batches. You don't put that on the whole Asian community. You don't put this thing on the Hispanic community, the Pablo Escobars and the El Chapos and the Medellin cartels.
So he's Ashura says Chinese government are against drugs. Stay with the U.S. on fentanyl not entering their country. They won't let marijuana in. Yeah, I agree with this. That's because there was an opioid crisis, and obviously the Western powers had got a lot of Chinese people addicted to opioids. So like, if you have drugs out there, it could be a death sentence. But we're talking about America here, not China. China has no issue with fentanyl being dropped in American neighborhoods because it doesn't affect China. And if it does affect China, it affects them because it weakens America, has more dumbed down, drugged out, laced up people. That just makes us easier, for the Chinese to take our lunch. So the Chinese, they are against drugs, but they're not against drugs being flooded into other nations.
And the Cali cartels and all of the drug gangs and drug mules running around South America. You don't put that on the whole Hispanic community. But with black people, anytime a Negro wants to go rob a liquor store, all of us are somehow complicit, and we got to get a finger wagged to us. How are we complicit in that?
When I'm not making that argument. And
that's literally the argument.
No, that's not. That's not. The argument isn't.
No. What's the argument? What does that have to do with black society? We don't co-sign criminality as a group.
Some of us do. That's what I'm saying. A big part of us do.
See, and this is where it gets goofy. Some of us co-sign crime. Okay, and some of us don't. So which some are we gonna go with? A lot of us co-sign crime, a lot of us don't. So which a lot are we gonna go with? And then just saying a lot is subjective. What does that mean? A lot. 40 people could seem like a lot, but 40 people out of 40 plus million people, is it a lot? And then let's just say that some people do co-sign crime. Why are you focused on the people that co-sign crime instead of focus on the people that are against it? Shouldn't you be united and building with the people that are against it? Instead, you're trying to wag your fingers at people that you believe that co-sign it, especially. And then who is it co-signing it? I mean, is it another thug? Is it a convicted felon? Of course they would co-sign crime. They're a convicted felon, a druggie. Is it a college educated person co-signing crime? You know, is it a doctor, a lawyer co-signing crime? But suddenly we all have to get generalized because some of us do. Yeah, and some of us don't. So why are you not saying that since some of us don't, then yeah, you know, we hold our community accountable? Instead, he's saying some of us co-sign crime, which he's being very vague with that. How are people co-signing crime? Like, he's never saying that. We are held accountable more than anyone else. If we're being locked up disproportionately, we're being over policed, we're being given on average 20% more time than our white counterparts for the same offense. I mean, that's over accountability. So what more do you want? So let's say there is a drive-by, a dude shoots someone, and then he gets locked up, right? That's justice served. What more accountability for the community am I supposed to have? Some goofy thuggish nigga did a drive-by. That goofy thuggish nigga got caught up and now he locked up. They threw the book at him. Man, we gotta hold ourselves accountable. Nigga, he got locked up. What more accountability? You want me to write this nigga a letter in the pen? Man, we gotta do better. No, this nigga needs to do better for the fucking 40 years that he got. What accountability are you talking about? I'm in California. How the fuck can I hold somebody accountable in St. Louis? I don't know them niggas out there and what they into, but suddenly I gotta take the hit. Man, black men gotta do better. Okay, I'm gonna go fly to St. Louis and preach to these niggas about how they need to do better. Then before I do that, hey, could you send something to the Cash App so that I could afford my plane ticket to go fly to St. Louis or Oakland and uplift the community? No, man, stop begging. So you just want to complain about the problem. You don't want to fundraise. You don't want to mutual aid. You don't want to assist. You just want to get on a podcast and say what the problem is. Talking about a problem while not also presenting a solution is whining. Whining is for toddlers, babies, and spoiled little brats. You feel me? And entitled boppers. If you fit that category, that's fine. But that just lets me know that you're not a builder. You're a babbler, not a builder.
If you attack who? What do you mean who?
What do you mean who? Drug mules running around South America. You don't put that on the whole Hispanic community. But with black people, anytime a Negro wants to go rob a liquor store, all of us are somehow complicit, and we got to get a finger wagged to us. How are we complicit in that?
Well, I'm not making that argument. And
that's literally the argument.
No, that's not. That's not. The argument isn't.
No. What's the argument? What does that have to do with black society? We don't co-sign criminality as a group.
Some of us do. That's what I'm saying. A big part of us do. Like, if you attack
who?
What do you mean who?
What do you mean who? A big part of us do. Who? No, but we don't like crime. Black folks don't like crime. What the fuck are you talking about?
So you saying black criminals in our community, and they don't get no love, is what you're trying to say? You trying to say, yeah, like we don't mess with them.
See, now bro is babbling incoherently and moving the goalposts. He's saying that, first he said that we co-sign crime, and then now he's saying that, are you trying to say that black criminals don't get no love? Okay, first you haven't even pointed out who was co-signing crime. He said many of us do. If many of us co-sign crime, you should be able to easily rattle off a few examples, because there's so many of us up. right? But he can't. And then now he's trying to say, oh, you're trying to say that we don't co-sign crime? Okay, once again, who is co-signing crime? Other criminals? Nigga, that don't speak for me.
They're pushed to the side. They're not glorified in any way. Is that what you're saying right now?
Criminals?
Yes.
No, dusty niggas who's shooting folks, they're not really glorified. People rap about it. White people listen to that shit and they...
Yeah, and now about that, like, once again, shout out to Braxton, 504 boy. Whoa, they in the building. So, yeah, it seems that it's more non-black people glorifying all these criminals and thugs. Think about this. They got websites dedicated to black Mandingo warriors just beating the brakes off of this Snow Bunny cooch, right? Why? A lot of these dudes is just obsessed with, like, you know, just blackness and black, you know, they say they got black fatigue, but it's really more like black obsession. I'm going somewhere with this. Let me play a little bit more and I'm gonna get back into it.
They glorify it. The rap, because y'all talking about rap, and the rap industry, 80% of the people who buy that stuff are white. That's why you go to Coachella and all of those big concerts, there's white people sitting up there singing that shit. Black people.
And that's what I want to get to. So when people are trying to say that, hey, we co-sign all these levels of degeneracy and we glorify these rappers and stuff like that, look at somebody like whether it's NBA YoungBoy, you can just name random people, Blueface and stuff. It's a bunch of non-black people that are crying, fainting over these people. They are the ones glorifying this stuff, right? You can't talk about that black community is glorifying criminals, but then you got some non-black company saying, here, let's put this criminal live on TV. Let's give this criminal a record deal, right? That seems to be glorifying it. How am I glorifying something where, okay, it was a song on the radio, I listened to it. The person that's glorifying it is that record label that gave them a deal. The person that's glorifying it is that radio station that's playing this. If the radio stations have such an issue with the word nigga so much and black degeneracy, why would they play these alleged black degenerate songs? Right? All these other people are the ones glorifying this stuff. And then you got a bunch of goofy sambos getting online. Man, we got a cultural problem. They call our culture a problem, but for every other group, it's a party. So our culture is a party for other people, but it's a problem for sambos. Do you niggas hear yourselves?
Well, we don't. We're not complicit in criminality. We're not.
So I got a question. So why every time we try to push hard on crime policies, black people view it as racist?
Because the hard on crime.
Did y'all hear, bruh? My brain is about to explode. This is not a strong showing for the KEWNservatives. Why every time we push for hard on crime policies, y'all call it racist? Because it is racist. You pushing for hard on crime policy, and crime doesn't have a color. See, when they say hard on crime policy, that means just hard on the blacks. Look it up. Don't take my word for it. Just look this up. For the same offenses, black people, black men specifically, get 20% more time for the same crime as their white counterparts. They get denied parole at a 28% higher rate than their white counterparts. I mean, that's what you call systemic racism and systemic bias. You can't pull yourself up by your bootstrap out of that one. You was with your white homie, y'all both did the same crime, and you get 20% more time for nothing other than you were born the wrong skin color. So, like, what are we really talking about here? And then when people push these tough on crime policies, they don't really work. Like the prison system is supposed to be a rehabilitation center, but all it is just a profit. It's a profiteering plantation for slave labor. And that's really all it is, because if they really want, because these people have an issue with crime, right? So why wouldn't they have a better program to stop recidivism? Why wouldn't they have a better program to ensure that, hey, look, we want to reduce crime? And then when they do reduce crime, they find a way to over criminalize you so that they can keep the prisons full. I mean, I know people in the chat are stock investors. Are y'all invested in stocks in prison? Well, in order for your prison stock to be thriving and flourishing, those prisons can't be empty, can they? So therein lies the problem. Why is prison slave labor a commodity? Why? Because you can paint the face of criminality as it's the blacks. You know what I mean? So then they're like, okay, yeah, whatever happens to them, they deserve it. And why didn't they just comply? Oh, I bet they didn't do nothing, right? So since people have demonized black people so much, they kind of really don't care how prisoners are treated. And many of the prisoners, if not most of the prisoners, are in there for non-violent drug offenders. So I know a lot of people are like, why didn't he just comply? Like, nigga, you smoking some right now. You probably smoking on some fent, probably smoking on some black. But the thing is, you didn't get caught. This person got caught and was a druggie. And now they got to do a bunch of time. And then since they was a druggie, they had to stay in a segregated area and got into a fight. And now they got gang enhancement. And why didn't they just comply? They didn't have to fight. It's like, no, why is the system set up for them to, just be a repeat offender? And then it turns in, well, I don't feel sorry for them and all this other type of stuff. Okay, you don't have to feel sorry for them. But when they get out and then they rob your ass, why should they feel sorry? Why should they feel sorry about robbing you? You don't give a fuck about them and they don't give a fuck about you. So y'all are even.
Policies, that's to criminalize blackness itself, not actual crime. That's why when you see law enforcement killing people.
We got Shorty McGriff. I like that name. Is it Shorty or Shawty? I'm gonna go with the Shawty McGriff, tapping in from Minneapolis, Minnesota. I gotta ask because there's a lot of Somalis out there. Are you Somalian? Are you FBA? Are you YT? But shout out to Shorty McGriff with the drip and building.
They don't really kill criminals. They always killing innocent black people. You notice that? Philando Castile was innocent. Eric Garner was innocent. Trayvon Martin was innocent. He wasn't killed by a police officer, but they raped.
So it looks like we've been joined by an illustrious guest, the intellectual soapbox. So much to say on this topic, man. I'm in chill chore mode. If not, I would ask for the link to come through. Hey, well, all chores matter, man. So are you in that kitchen busting them suds? You know what I mean? Or you using the dishwasher? Mr. Best, you old school. So I think you would put on some gloves and the elbow grease and wash the dishes by hand. But hey, don't sleep on the dish washers in Cascade. But shout out, salute Mr. Best, intellectual soapbox in building.
Soldiered him up. You understand?
But you know how many black criminals kill police officers?
There we go, Shorty McGriff. Okay. If you was a tether, then you would have been Shorty McGriff, Shorty McGriff. But since you FBA, you Shawty McGriff. So shout out to Shawty McGriff in building.
Not many, most, and that's another.
Just the other day, one black criminal killed 5 police officers. Or shot 5 police officers.
Yeah, but most cops are killed.
Shout out to Sunlight coming with the fire. Yet Griselda Blanco only got a dime for all those drugs and deletions. She deleted a lot of people. Miami was built by the drug trade. And that's the thing. When Griselda Blanco was doing that, they weren't talking about fatherless homes. Where was Griselda Blanco's father? Like, who raised her? I mean, and not only that, she hired a lot of her own people. It was an infrastructure. It wasn't just her and a bunch of innocent people around her. There were people that were around her co-signing this, that were complicit in this, that were co-conspirators. Where was the RICO charge? And where was the Latino culture is like this? Nobody says that, right? But then when you got Diddy up there, and Diddy is a small fry in terms of the perverse stuff that he was doing. And a lot of stuff that he was doing was just freak offs with baby oil. They was like, man, that nigga Diddy nasty. He had baby oil. I was like, you was using baby oil too. Yeah, but he had hella bottles. So because he had more bottles than you? Yeah, but he was paying for cooch. It's like, nigga, you was paying for cooch on Backpage and OnlyFans and all this stuff. It's like, but he paid for more cooch. Oh, but he beat Cassie. Yeah, and then Cassie took the money. So like right now, if I said to people, hey, look, somebody is gonna beat the dog crap out of you and drag you through the hallway lobby, but they gonna break you off like 30 or 40 million. You know how many people will say, sign me up? People is like, I'm getting my ass beat right now and I can't pay my bills. Diddy, they would let Diddy buck break them, slap them around and drag them through the hotel and humiliate them if they was going to get 30 to 40 M's out the thing. So yeah, and not only that, Cassie should have been charged too. Cassie was in there liking to get golden showers, like that R. Kelly, Dave Chappelle song, I wanna pee on you. I mean, the 12 play, it was like 12 spray. She was getting all sorts of piss, Peruvian piss, Persian piss, African piss. Like, she was just getting peed on, and it's nothing wrong with that if that's her little fetish. But then to try to act like, Diddy was just this unthinkable monster. Like, Diddy is a POS, you know what I mean? He wasn't on code, and it just is what it is. But to try to make him seem like he was just this bigger boogeyman than he actually was, why are they doing that? Because they want to paint black people as just the face of this perverse stuff. But like I said, Diddy was a small fry compared to Weinstein and all this other type of stuff, and that correlates to when it comes to all of these the drug trades and stuff. We're the small fries, right? But who's the face of it? Man, blacks need to do this. Okay, fine, we do need to do that, right? But you want to lock up all the black drug dealers, but you don't want to lock up none of the non-black people that are pushing the weight. How does that make sense? Are you really trying to stop crime? When they say, hey, how do you stop crime? They say, cut off the head of the snake. They don't say, in order to stop crime, you cut off the tail of the snake, or you poke the snake in the middle. So why are y'all not cutting off the head of the snake? And if they not cutting off the head of the snake, it means because they want it to happen. And if they want it to happen, y'all need to stop crying about black on black crime that they are allowing to happen. Crime has no color. All crime matters. So if all crime matters, why are you whining about black folks?
Killed by white criminals.
And this notion that this narrative that you pushing, like black women don't glorify criminals at all, is just like laughable.
Hood rats. You're talking about hood rats.
College education.
Shout out to Breeze Omega. Facts. We not the plug. Yeah. Bree. I said Freeze. My bad. Shout out to Breeze Omega in building. Look, Breeze, you sound like you got some street background, so we not the plug, bruh. And it's not like we don't have the mental capacity to be the plug. It's just they would never let us be the plug because we're held accountable more than anyone else. If we get anywhere close to being the plug, bam, Rayful Edmonds, bam, Frank Lucas, bam, Big Meech, bam, Freeway Ricky. where they get us up out of there. Larry Hoover, they get us up out of there. But these other people, they are allowed to amass, these billion-dollar enterprises like El Chapo, and then still pass that wealth. Even when they seize a lot of that money, he's already built up so many other industries as well. So how he fed nations of people, El Chapo, with all of the corrupt stuff that he was doing. But guess what words they never used with El Chapo? They never said that was Hispanic culture. They never talked about El Chapo. Who the hell raised El Chapo? Was El Chapo raised in a fatherless home? You don't know. You don't really care. But when it comes to black people with George Floyd, they want to know everything about George Floyd. Who was George Floyd's mama and all this stuff? He was on fentanyl. Yeah, but it's okay, cool. It's a bunch of white people on fentanyl right now. Should I knee on their neck until they, take their last breath because they're on fentanyl? You see, when it comes to white druggies, it's like, we got to get them treatment. But when it comes to black druggies, it's like, lock those niggers up. You know what I mean?
Okay, the black women sleep with criminals too. Like, we can't, are we go ignore that? Like, is that not a problem?
No, you're talking about hood rats, and some hood rats go to...
I'm gonna rewind this back, but I don't know. I see why Tariq put that this dude was an incel. Now here this little goofy nigga is whining. Black women sleep with criminals. So what, nigga? If she's over there getting her back blown out by Pookie, Ray Ray, and Man, and they running a train on there, what did they say? There's plenty of fish in the sea. So why are you worried about this little bum Quisha or Watermelon Isha who's getting her back blown out by Marquavius? Nigga, why do you care? If you don't got game, just say that. You feel me? You know what I mean? If you're not performing strongly in certain departments, just say that. They got pills for that. They got classes, courses, trainers, surgeries for that. To just be whining and saying black women are getting with the criminals. So nigga, what is it about the criminals to where they pulling your bitches to where you can't even get no action? I mean, you're a conservative, right? You're supposed to be doing everything right. You know what I mean? You kissing the white man's butt. I say that these KEWNservatives, they're not just butt kissers, they are crack lickers. They don't just lick the crack, they grab the cheeks firmly, spread them apart, lick up and down and all around. That's what these dudes is about. So look, are there some women of all races and ethnic backgrounds that love to get plowed by these thuggish bad boys? I think DMX had a song, why do good girls like bad boys? You're gonna have to ask the good girls why they like bad boys, but first you gotta look in the mirror, have some introspection, ask yourself, what is it about me that's so lame that even some thuggish dude who just got out the joint, that he can pull chicks but I can't? That says more about you than the chicks. You can't try to convince me that every black chick just wants to go find them, the most thugged out killer. Nah, bruh. Just say that your mouthpiece ain't crisp. Just say that you corny, bruh.
College. Okay. Philando Castile was innocent. Eric Garner was innocent. Trayvon Martin was innocent. He wasn't killed by a police officer, but they race soldiered him up. You understand?
Yes, and like you said, I just went down the list of many of these KEWNservatives, and all of them got white women. Like I said, hey, I'm a humanitarian. I love all people. So if you want to go get you a bunny, go ahead, be my guest. But once you start denigrating and disparaging your people just because you like raisins in your potato salad, I can't respect that. And my thing is, bro, you guys are not into black women, so let the men who know how to handle black women and want to be with black women, let them handle it. Like, you don't even want a black woman, so why are you just whining like a little ass hoe about a woman that you can't get? You know how they say, man, you hating outside the club, you can't even get in. You can't get in this lineage because you ain't a part of us. And even if you are a part of the lineage, you can't get with any of our virtuous, moral, reputable, ravishing sisters because your mouthpiece ain't tight enough. You're not formidable. You're not intellectual. You're not astute. So go over there on the other side of the fence where you think that the grass is greener. The grass is not greener on the other side. The grass is greener where you water it. You can't say that you're not watering the grass. And, man, why is my grass turning yellow? Nigga, you didn't water it.
You know how many like black criminals kill police officers? Like
not many. Most, and that's
like,
another.
Just the other day, one black criminal.
Yeah, like Breeze says, bro, if you want a Becky, go be with Becky. Like, no one cares if you want to be with a Becky. Like, Jungle Fever, if you want to swirl it up, be my guest. But when you swirl it up, and then now you just voluntarily buck break yourself to sell out the community just because you want a pumpkin chai latte, I can't respect that.
Who killed like 5 police officers. Or shot like 5 police officers.
Yeah, but most cops are killed by white criminals.
And this notion that this narrative that you push on like black women don't glorify criminals at all is just like laughable.
Hood rats. You talking?
Yes, a lot of these, what I call is squame. What's the squame? A square lame. You know, there's that moniker, educated lame. No, this dude is just a squame, a square lame, a square ass lame. You got to add the ass for emphasis. Pause. But this dude, and like I said, this is not a strong showing for the conservatives. And that's why I always tell black people, I'm B1. I'm not C1 conservative first. I'm not D1 Democrat first. I'm B1 black first. So I will work with black conservatives. I'll work with black Republicans. I'll work with black Marxists, black socialists, black anything, as long as you are on code and you're not trying to undermine the mission. But we will have some straightening here. You know what I mean? Delineation, disaggregation is, delineation, disaggregation, and distinction. That is a must, you know what I mean? But we can still build something to construct a greater society, but we just have to get some straightening. All of the stuff that we used to be, where we're just society's doormat, everybody just walks on us, you step in dog poo. Oh yeah, man, let's just go to the black doormat and wipe it off. Yeah, no, those days are over. It's a new day, you know what I mean? Many of our elders, sold us out, and many of our elders, white elders, they were just olders, and they were just looking to, lead and live a comfortable death. And if that's what you want to do, fine, but just get the fuck out the way when people are actually building, when people are actually fighting. If I'm in the streets fighting for liberation for my people, I don't need you to hear saying, man, you gonna make the white people mad, and when the cops pull us over, nigga, I'm the one out here fighting, taking the arrows and bullets. If you're scared, go to church. Give me your address or your P.O. box and I'll send you a Bible. You know what I mean? You want a TD Jake CD? I'll send that to you too. But just get away from us when we out here fighting for liberation, when we actually out here building up institutions and infrastructure, when we are pooling resources, when we are practicing mutual aid and feeding each other and cycling our dollars. You know what I mean? I don't want to hear goofy niggas coming up talking about, and what about black on black crime and all lives matter and all that shit, man. If you ain't on no B1 stuff, hey, look, I love you. I just gotta love you from a distance. Go over there with the Gaza and the Palestinian process, and then, hey, build some solidarity over there and, double back over here. You KEWNservatives, since y'all want us off of the Democrat plantation, go build up something viable on the Republican plantation, and then, hey, we'll meet back later. But us over here in the lineage, status base, FBA, B1 sector, we gonna be building, because we always have been building. We've been undermined, and so we've had a lot more setbacks than we should have. But now that we got some straightening, I think it's gonna be a lot of fruitful things going forward. It's just all the cards are going to be laid out on the table. We're not going to be doing this pretend we all black, we all the same, we all just one big global Negro, we all just one big person of color. Nah, them days is over.
About hood rap.
College educated black women sleep with criminals too. Like, we can't. Are we go ignore that? Like, is that not a problem?
No, you're talking about hood rats.
Do you know how many college educated bunnies be over there getting this soul pole? They be right, man. They be, you know, that cowabunga. They be surfboard graining on that wood. They be surfboard. They be really cowabunga. They be riding the soul pole like it's a tsunami. You know what I mean? So this just sounds like a dude that don't get a lot of cooch talking about college educated black women, you know, that they getting pumped up by Pookie. Let's just say that was true. How does Pookie don't even got a job? And RIP to my OG Clarence. He said a lot of these dudes is like sexual mutants where, hey, they may not be smart, but they, you know, they know how to get down in the bedroom. Bruh, that's what you're competing with. So you're going to have to do something better. You're going to have to step your game up in the bedroom. You're going to have to step your mouthpiece up. You're going to have to step your money game up, because some chicks, they do want to just get their backs blown out. And sometimes they looking at like, yeah, Pookie don't got his stuff together, but Pookie is 6'4". So she looking at Pookie as a genetic transfer, a genetic extraction. Yeah, Pookie ain't going to be shit, but at least my kid don't have these athletic genes. So you got to start looking at it in its totality. Many of these conservatives is like, I have a job and I lived my life as Steve Urkel, so these black women should want me. No, bruh, you're a fucking dork. And there's nothing wrong with being a dork, but at least be charismatic. Be an in shape dork. You know, I promote dorks. I promote nerds. I'll call myself a blurred, a black nerd, you know what I mean? Or a ghetto nerd. Nothing wrong with being nerdy, dorky and stuff. But when you turn into a dweeb and a doofus and you're like, oh my God, the black women, you know, they're smashing this. It's like, bruh, it's so many women. It's millions upon millions of women. And I'm not even talking about the passport bro stuff. Bruh. If you are just in a you know, a monogamous relationship, you only have to find one. So if you find one woman, why the hell are you complaining about 3 girls getting a gangbanged run on them in a college frat party? Why would you care? You have your one woman. Or if you into polyamory, right? Go get you 2 chicks. Now you got 2 chicks. Why are you talking about what other chicks are getting smashed by criminals? I mean, are you jealous, my nigga? Like, cause that sounds like a little bit of fetish. Like, bro, do you wish you was a criminal or something like that, bro? Or maybe you wish one of those criminals pounded you. Or, I mean, I'm just saying, bro.
Then some hood rats go to college.
Do black educated women sleep with criminals and glorify pookies, as we call them?
What's a pookie?
A pookie, you know what a pookie is.
No, because a pookie is like a catch-all for basically a young black man, basically. You understand?
No, it's not.
That's kind of a catch-all term for a young black male.
That's what you. That's the chilling. There you go, chilling for black criminals again.
No, because they said that. Okay, let me ask you this: do you think Trayvon Martin was a pookie?
No.
But no, because your white supremacist brethren, they said that.
Why is this nigga giggling like a little ass whiny hoe? I'm just saying, bro. Like, for reals, as grown men, like, you know, they're always trying to attack black masculinity, saying, you know, when you're too masculine, that's toxic masculinity. Then they're trying to throw a lot of LGBT stuff at us, saying masculinity is fluid, so you can wear dresses and be a fruit pop and hey, that's fine and all this stuff. So I'm not even to get in that. I'm just painting a full picture that's like, look, bro, these are 2 men, or a man and a male, having a serious discussion, right? He's here to talk about the solutions and issues of black people, but he keeps giggling like a little fucking schoolgirl. Like, how can we take you serious? Nothing. What is conservative about this? Like, do y'all want to conserve any of this? A nigga with some talking points is getting debunked, and he's on here with a grown man laughing and giggling like a little schoolgirl. Like, it's like a schoolgirl that's at her first homecoming dance. This shit don't even make no sense, bro. Little sassy fruit pop. Let me rewind it a little bit.
College educated black women sleep with criminals too. Like we can't. Are we go ignore that? Like is that not a problem?
No, you're talking about hood rats, and some hood rats go to college.
Do black educated women sleep with criminals and glorify pookies, as we call them?
What's a pookie?
A pookie, you know what a pookie is.
No, because a pookie is like a catch-all for basically a young black male. Basically. You understand?
No, it's not.
That's kind of a catch-all term for a young black male.
That's what you. That's the chilling. There you go, chilling for black criminals again.
No, because they said that. Okay, let me ask you this: do you think Trayvon Martin was a pookie?
No.
How the hell was he shilling for black criminals? It's true. It's just like when some people say, Karen, right? Obviously, typically anyone could be a Karen, but typically it's a caricature of a white woman, but not just any white woman. When someone says Karen, they don't think about some fine white OnlyFans model. They don't think about some soccer mom. They don't think about some secretary. They think about some mean, angry white lady, harassing people for no reason, you know what I mean? But see, when somebody says a pookie, like literally what is a pookie? Because yeah, you can say that, okay, it's some dude from the hood or, somebody with a street background. But then when you just generalize and just call every black person a pookie, like, what is you trying to say? And Tariq just asked him, hey, could you clarify what exactly is a pookie? Because the way it's used, it has been used as a catch-all for just a young black male, kind of like how YN is used now. Like if there's a young black male, oh man, he's a YN. Like, why are you putting that on him? He never called himself that, but you're trying to call him a young nigga? Like for what? No, he's call him a YM, a young man or a young male. How about that? Let's normalize that, because if we gonna keep going with this whole YN thing, then I'm gonna just keep it going. So if I call somebody a MN, what's a MN? A Mexican nigga? Oh, he's a dub N. What's a dub N? A white nigga? Oh man, he's a AN. What's a AN? An Asian nigga? Oh man, that sounds goofy. Okay, it sounds as goofy as you calling everybody a YN. So how about that?
Oh.
But no, because your white supremacist brethren, they said that. They tried to criminalize him.
And then you do this thing where you throw all people on the right all together. Like one person
you just threw all black people together, sir. You just threw all black people together. You're saying.
Does this nigga hear himself? He's over here caping and saying he threw all white people together. Once again, has the case. Like I said, buck breaking is not physical. The most important aspect of buck breaking is the psychological toll that it takes on people. So he generalized black women. Are you telling me black women don't be smashing pookies? He generalized black women, especially black college-age women, as getting smashed by pookies. Then when Tariq brings up something about white people, well, you can't generalize all white people. Come on, man. I mean, I'm not a Democrat, but like, this is not a strong showing for the conservatives. Like I said, most, not all, but the majority of conservatives are just like the name says, con. The emphasis on con. There's con, but this emphasis on KEWNservatives and KEWNservatives. What about this do you want to conserve? The failed talking points, the stutter. What about this do you want to conserve? The nigga giggling and laughing and whining like a little fucking schoolgirl that's having her first period. I mean, what about this do you want to conserve? Let's commence.
Saying that we glorify criminals.
I said a big number of us do.
All right, and a big number of white supremacists are conservative.
Yeah, but they don't view every black person as a pookie. Like that's
many of them do.
Right now.
Sir, the stereotypes that these white supremacists push, they push it on all of us. They look at all of us through a stereotypical lens, sir. That's a fact. Now, how long have you been a black conservative? How long have you been?
I'm pretty. young. So like I'm my first time voting. I voted for Joe Biden in 2020.
Okay.
So I'm new. Like it was my first time being able to vote.
What city you grow up in?
Missouri, Kansas City, but I'm in LA right now.
Oh, okay. How'd you get out to LA?
I moved, I guess.
What made you move to LA?
Career.
Okay. A career in what?
And finance.
Really? In LA, you wouldn't move to New York? That would be a place. New York,
No,
Dallas.
I do other stuff too, but it's low key. I don't want to put all that on.
Because I'm asking because I'm trying to see if one of these white supremacist think tanks brought you out here.
No, I'm not a think tank. Bro, I'm on code. Like I believe you are 99% right on a lot of stuff.
Huh? Bruh, how are you on code with all of these Fox News talking points that have been debunked decades ago? This is not on code. And you're not on code. If you're putting Democrat, Republican, liberal, conservative, if you're putting that before your lineage, before your children, before your family, before your community, that's not on code. Nigga, I don't give a fuck about the Democrats. I don't care about Green Party, Libertarian Party, Republicans. I will vote for any of those parties that will put forth tangible resources that is going to specifically enrich and uplift my community. I do support all universal policies that help everyone. But when we're talking about a specific group that has been targeted, and aggrieved since the inception of this country, that group has been specifically targeted, so they need specific redress. I still support universal policies that uplift everyone else. I just don't think it should be conflated with our specific lineage and status-based redress claims.
Like I don't like.
What do you disagree with?
The black conservatives, the criminal stuff, and like I can't think of the other stuff right now, but it's some things you say where I'm like,
hold on, Sade, are you in KC? I gotta go to KC and get some barbecue, or should I say barbecue? But Kansas City, is they barbecue better than Texas though? I don't know. Let me know. But you know what? I did love you know how they had that KC masterpiece? They always had some fire barbecue sauce. So if the sauce is fire, then the meat gotta be fire too.
Like what? Most of the stuff, I feel like you on code with the tethers. I'm on board with that. Right. I'm on board with the lineage. I'm on board with a lot of stuff. I just view, this is how I see it, right? I believe it's a lot. I believe we don't need the numbers. Like I don't believe in the numbers. I believe
what
like
numbers? What numbers? What numbers? What are you saying?
I believe if 20 of us is on code, that's more than having 100 of us that's just like, LGBT community, feminists, that's how I view it.
Bro, what is this nigga talking about right now? For real, you know what? I was being extremely patient. I wasn't gonna do this. But did y'all hear what? Let me rewind it back. Did y'all hear what this goofy nigga just said?
What do you disagree with?
The black conservatives, the criminal stuff, and like I can't think of the other stuff right now. But it's some things you say where I'm like,
Like what?
Most of the stuff, I feel like you on code with the tethers. I'm on board with that. Right. I'm on board with the lineage. I'm on board with a lot of stuff. I just view, this is how I see it, right? I believe it's a lot. I believe we don't need the numbers. Like I don't believe in the numbers. I believe
what
like
numbers? What numbers? What numbers? What are you saying?
I believe if 20 of us is on code, that's more than having 100 of us that's just like, LGBT community, feminist.
Bro, what is this dude talking about? We don't need the numbers? Huh? This doesn't even make any sense. So on one hand, they talk about we do need the numbers or we have a massive amount of numbers that are voting for the Democrats. So if we don't need the numbers, why does he care about how many of us vote Democrat? Then they're saying, oh man, if it's 20 of us is on code, it don't matter if it's 100. What? 100 what? No. 20 on code people versus what, 100 people undermining us? No, that's going to be an uphill battle if it's 20 on code people and it's 100 Sambos and Tethers and non-black people working against us. Could we defeat and overcome those odds? Yes, but the odds are not favorable. So what is he talking about that the numbers don't matter? And since he's just incoherently babbling, I gotta hit him.
What? How please?
Nigga, please.
How? Nigga, what?
Nigga.
Nigga, please.
Nigga, please.
What?
And it's not just this dude, it's the majority of coon clown conservatives. Whenever I hear y'all talking this incoherent, imbecilic babble.
And you know what, nigga? You acting like a little bitch right now. You acting like a little bitch right now, nigga. Man, fuck that. I ain't letting that shit ride.
And if there are any coon and clown conservatives in the chat, look, man, I don't got nothing against y'all. So long as you...
And I quote, you know your damn role and shut your damn mouth.
Let's commence.
You know, that's how I view it. So that's why I think a lot of people is there. I think a lot of foundational Black Americans is just pulling us back.
Okay. So foundation. Slow down. Okay. So many.
Okay, cool. Let's take him at face value. He said a lot of FBAs are holding us back, and I could say that about any group, right? It's a lot of whites holding whites back and stuff. So I'm not really gonna hold them on that statement. Fine, right? A lot of us are holding us back. What is he doing to propel us forward? Because you whining about people that are allegedly holding us back, that's not pushing us forward. Talking about a problem while not also presenting the solution is whining. I don't want to hear you whine, bruh. Many people have already, some people had kids and their kids is grown now, and some people got their own little babies and toddlers and newborns to hear whine, right? Nigga, you're not a baby. I don't want to hear no goo goo gaga babble, bruh.
Folks are pulling us back and there's so much criminality. What are you doing to fix it? What are you doing to stop it?
What do you mean, what am I doing to stop it? I'm trying to figure out what can we do to stop it.
Okay, so just getting around white people and just saying, hey,
I'm not around white people like that.
Yeah. As a conservative, you guys are, because there ain't too many black people you're going to be around. So you're going to be around a lot of white people. And your job is to basically get around white people and basically say the little shit about black people that they can't say.
Or my job is to get around black people that can hop on code and just get these people out.
So now you're in
like that's the job.
You're in a space with black people, and I'm asking you, okay, what's the solution? Because we know that there's crime. What are you doing to help rectify it? What are you doing and what have you done?
What do you mean, what have I done?
Okay, see, that's not a trick question.
So we asked him a straight question. What do you mean, what have I done? Nigga, you didn't do nothing, so just say that you haven't done nothing. And look, bruh, you're a buck-broken dude who loves snow bunnies. That's fine, but just stop trying to give us advice, bruh. Nothing. What has this dude said that you want to conserve? He hasn't done anything. Tariq asked him clear this. He gave him the floor to explain what he has done, and you'll find this is a theme. And I had some people I'm cool with share the video of Officer Tatum. I'm like, bro, why is you following this goofy nigga? What has Officer Tatum done? What has Candace Owens done? You feel me? What has any of these people done? Even the coon Charleston White, they tried to say that he done some hype shit, and then shout out to Black Alpha Network. He looked into it. That hype shit was basically to hype up everybody else. That shit was an All Lives Matter organization that mainly helped whites and Latinos. So even Charleston White, that little shit that he said, this nigga, and mind you, he's always going in on blacks. Find me videos of Charleston White talking about Latinos. So then when he did some shit to uplift, he was working with Latinos to end gang violence and shit. And then he tried to frame that shit as like he was helping the black youth or something like that. Don't take my word for it. Look it up. I know the Black Alpha Network, salute that brother, has been on code, but him and some other people I looked it up. Just look up his organization Hype. Look at who's behind it. It ain't nobody that looks like us, right? Look who's funding it. It ain't nobody that looks like us. And look who it helped. Barely anybody that looks like us. So, and let's just say it was all black people. So because it was all black people, Charleston White can get on cam and just talk about us like dogs, and we're supposed to overlook because, oh yeah, he was right on that video. He did 100 videos denigrating us, and then he says one right video, oh well, he does have a point. And I always give this example. If I say fuck your mama, fuck your daughter, I don't give a fuck about those bitches, and then I turn around and say 2 + 2 is 4, are you gonna say, well, that is facts? It's true, right? 2 + 2 is 4. That is facts. Are you gonna focus on the facts of 2 + 2 is 4, or me saying fuck your mama and all this other type of stuff? And that's what people want people like Charleston Coonston White to overlook. Oh man, he cooked on this. Yeah, he cooked and he lied in the same thing. And then he said a bunch of other things. Do you think Jewish people would let somebody talk shit about Jewish people and then big up Jewish people and say, well, he was right on here? If you say one thing wrong about him, forget 100 things wrong. You say one thing wrong about them, internally they like, yeah, we got to get him out of here. With our community, we supposed to let niggas say 2,000 things wrong about us, and then, you know, then if we shit on them, see, man, we don't stick together. How the fuck is Charleston White sticking together? How the fuck is Anton Kuntan Daniel sticking together? And shout out bro Sanchez, because he talked about Kuntan Daniels. This nigga talks shit about us, and then he'll do a video on try to tell us, here, let me tell you how to build your credit. You basically called us niggers and low IQ monkeys, and now you want to try to help us build credit? Nigga, we're low IQ. How the fuck is whatever video you talking about, how is it gonna help us? Like, this shit gets super goofy. They'll try to act like, oh man, the black community is shitty because of fatherless homes. Okay, well, according to you, the fathers ain't in the home. So how is you making a video about credit gonna help the black community? And if your video about credit is gonna help the black community, why are you whining about fatherless homes? No other community has that. You know how many babies Hispanics have out of wedlock as soon as they come across the border? You think they come across the border, get married, and have a baby? No, the shit doesn't happen like that. But they don't care because they're like, hey, look, man, you're building our population. Pop out some more babies. But with us, it's like, man, you guys having all those kids out of wedlock. You notice how people have memorized the black stats out of wedlock? If you ask them, hey, what's the black stats out of wedlock? They know it off the top of their head. And then ask them about the whites, they like, I don't know, let me Google it. Hispanics, I don't know, let me Google it. How the fuck have you memorized the black stats and you not even black? How pathetic is that? You talking about black fatigue? That's obsession. Imagine if I said, man, I got NBA fatigue. Hey bro, what you about to do? I'm about to go watch the NBA. I thought you had NBA fatigue. Yeah, but I'm just about to watch the game. I have black fatigue. You go on their social media like, damn, all you talking about is black people. I thought you had fatigue. Yeah, but I'm sure my fatigue, I'm tired of these niggas by talking about them every day. Does that shit make any sense to you? And many people, just because they get off on anti-blackness, like some people really like jizz in their pants and have an orgasm off anti-blackness. And it's like a lot of y'all cats just be, you really don't be standing on it. So I'm like, if you're going to be anti-black, lean into it. Say more of the hard ERs. Just take the mask off. Because if y'all really want black people to wake up and stop being degenerate and doing all this other stuff, well, you need to stop being fake and tell them how much of low IQ monkeys and niggers that they are. And then they'll realize that, hey, look, man, this country still is racist, and probably in your lifetime will always be racist, and then you can operate from a better place. I prefer overt racism than covert racism. I prefer someone that's gonna call you a nigger straight to your face so you can look at them and evaluate and say, you know what, this is not somebody I want to be around, versus someone that said, hey buddy, I love you, pal, and then as soon as you turn around, they're calling you a nigger, and then they stab you in the back. See, if they had did that up front, they would have never been able to get that close to me. But because they said, hey, jolly old pal, your buddy there, That's how they was able to get closed. Like Malcolm X said, the wolf and the fox. When you see the wolf, you see those eyes glowing. You see the fangs showing and growling, snarling. But then the fox, damn, that fox looks cute and cuddly. Here, let me bring the fox home. You bring the fox home. You turn your back to brush your teeth, and the fox has just annihilated you.
And so if you are confused as the solution, what's the point?
I'm not confused of the solution.
Okay, what do you bring? Okay, all right.
We know who the criminals is.
Okay, then why are you? No. Then why are you even bringing it up if you don't have a solution? What's the point? See, this is where it's comes from. You don't have a point. You're just bringing it up. You're not bringing it up. I do have a solution. I just asked you, and you don't know what you're confused. I've asked you what the solution is.
You said no. You said what have you personally did.
Okay, right.
That's not the same question as what's the solution.
Okay, what is the solution?
The solution is for all the.
Hold on, before he gives his rambling answer, no, it kind of is the same question, because if he's asking you, what have you done? And he's saying that's a different question. Well, if this dude supposedly has the solution, why haven't you implemented the solution? Because if you implemented the solution, you wouldn't be on Tariq's space whining like a little funky, stanky hoe. You wouldn't do that. You would be up here talking about, hey, look, man, yeah, there's some issues, but because I did the solution, I'm able to been seeing some types of change. You know, it's a little bit rough, but I'm gonna keep fighting. Instead, he's up here crying. Nah, bro, if you already had a solution, you would be coming here with an anecdote of how your solution has worked. A solution should bring about an end to the problem, or at least some sort of mitigation to the problem. What is his solution produce? He hasn't done nothing, and his solution hasn't done nothing. All of these people have no solutions. I'll go down the list again. The Hodge goofy ass twins, what solutions do they have? Those dudes is just like two big old sambles laughing, giggling. They're not funny. Like, I don't know why anyone would follow these people. It doesn't have to do anything with them being conservative. There's buck broken Democrats, there liberals, and buck broken Republicans and conservatives. It needs to be about lineage, status, and community-based tangibles. If it's not about that, anything else is uncivilized and off code.
Black people to get on code and just kick these criminals and we have to rebuild this. And this is the only way I think we could fix.
Okay, yeah, but that's
okay. I'm gonna tell you the only way I think we can fix our communities. Like,
because you're just saying something cliche. That's not a real solution. You're just saying
I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it right now. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say the only way we have fixed our communities is a big number of us gonna have to either take over the local police departments, or we gonna have to rebuild our relationship with the police.
Okay,
like that.
Are you, bruh? You.
What did you say, nigga?
You can't be, after all of this shit that he said, he's saying the solution to build up the black community is building our relationship with the police.
Hey, bro, come on now, dog. Come on, man.
You got to be kidding me, bruh. So right now, okay, let's just say that more FBAs join the police force. So what does that do? Does more of us becoming cops, what does that do for the educational system? If more of us become cops, what does that do? Right now, you got in New York, Zoran Mondami, right? He won because he was talking about kitchen table issues. Those kitchen table issues was about affordability. So just a bunch of us becoming cops, how does that help people afford their rent? How does that put food on the table? And he's trying to say that essentially that we need to be more friendly to cops, and that's what will help our community. Are you kidding me? And I'm gonna do a segment on there that I bet actually black people love the cops. They do, you know what I mean? More so than it's portrayed. Yeah, you know, there'll be songs on fuck the police, fuck the pigs, and all this other type of stuff. But when you see there's countless videos of white people acting very barbaric towards cops, and there's a lot of videos of us getting our ass beat by cops. So the dynamics, is not even the same. But let's see more of what he has to say before I get back into it.
The only way we're gonna be able to do it, because if we still view police as ops, then we go.
Stop. That makes no sense.
What do you mean?
Slow down. How is that going to stop crime if we rebuild our relationship with police? How is that going to stop crime in black society?
Because we are cracked down on it.
No, police don't stop crime. They come after crime is already reported, and especially in black neighborhoods. There was even a scene in Boys in the Hood. Remember when his house was broken into, and then they had that racist, bigoted black cop and the white dude that came over, and Lawrence Fishburne was like, "Man, I called you guys over an hour ago," and the black cop got an attitude with them. And then there's been countless cops to say, like, especially if it's in a high crime area, they're like, hey, we're not gonna risk our life, so they'll rather just let people kind of shoot it out, black on black crime, and then that's kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't, right? If I live in a neighborhood, of course I'm gonna live predominantly by blacks because I was redlined out of the neighborhood, and y'all don't want the blacks living next to y'all, right? When the blacks try to live next to y'all, there goes the neighborhood, and I don't want my property values to go down. Get out of here, nigger. Okay, cool. So I live next to the blacks, right? But I'm a well-to-do black, but you want me living next to the poor blacks, right? Okay, fine. Now a poor black tries to rob me. I try to call the cops. I'm running. Hey, help me out. The cops don't get there in time. I have to defend myself. I defend myself instead of it just being an American case of self-defense. It's going to be black on black crime. How the fuck is it black on black crime? No, it's just male on male crime. It's me defending myself. It's human on human crime, right? I didn't kill this person because he was black. In this hypothetical scenario, I did it because I feared for my life and I wanted to defend myself. But this is the thing: when you defend yourself and it happens to be a black person, they don't call it self-defense. They just call it black on black crime. And then if you happen to be in a gang, then that's just black on black crime. And then if you happen to be in a domestic dispute, which every race has, oh man, see, that's just black on black crime and the patriarchy and all this stuff. It all circles back to that. And guess who helped coin that term? The buck broken boule. They were the ones who, along with the Democrats and, non-black handlers, they helped normalize that term, because like I said, every other group, most crime is intraracial. Most Asians commit crimes on Asians, most white commit crimes on white, but none of them talk about there's no term of people of color on people of color crime. There's no Asian on Asian crime, brown on brown crime, even though a lot of these groups commit crime against each other at the same rate or higher than us. You know what I mean? But just with us, we're just supposed to have this black on black crime to make it seem like something about blackness is inherently criminal. And you can thank the buck broken boule for help popularizing and making that a thing. So that shows, as detrimental as it was, that is a form of misguided accountability. You can't say the black community has a accountability issue and then the buck broken boule signed on with the crime bill that disproportionately locked black people, aka niggas, up. Isn't that accountability? Right? They voted to lock more black people up, and then you want to talk about black people having an accountability problem while black people are disproportionately being held accountable and getting locked up. Does that make any fucking sense to you?
A lot of us just don't call the police when we see crime going on. Like that's the real thing.
That's not true. That's a goddamn lie. That's not true. That's not true.
That's not. I literally grew up with an FBA grandma in the hood.
Not true.
That is true.
That's a damn lie.
So you saying every time we see the police, Tariq,
that's a lie. That's a lie. Now that's a white supremacist damn lie.
You saying
that is a lie.
I'm asking you a question. Every time
John in the gym right now, still locked in. Salute to John. Hey man, and stay in the gym. You know, the health is wealth. And tap into John. I'm gonna have to do a little interview with them because we want to do. I'm organizing a health and wealth summit. You know what I mean? So we're gonna be talking about ways to enrich ourselves, and one of the things that we can start with is our health, definitely taking care of ourselves. So I know John and myself, we cooking up some things. And John, he got some special sea moss too. So if y'all need, those minerals and need to get your body and your juices flowing right, hit your boy up. And salute to all y'all that been rocking, you feel me? Shorty McGriff or Shawty Mac Griff, Enoch, Breeze, Sunlight, Ashura, Travion, love y'all. Appreciate the support. And anybody that I missed, it was not intentional. But let's commence.
Foundational Black American seek calm. We call the police. Yes.
Yes. People call the police, and the police don't do anything.
It's literally.
That's a lie. What you're saying is a lie.
It is civilian.
Okay, let's slow down. You're not going to overtalk us with lying.
Yeah, no, there is this myth that, man, black people care about snitching so much that they don't even call the cops. Nah, bruh, stop with that BS. We do call the cops and the cops don't come. So that's another thing too. Like, and don't take my word for it. Look at the response times in an affluent area versus in what they would consider a high crime area. They don't care. And they always talk about, oh man, you guys can't defund the police. Okay, if we're not defunding the police, what are we gonna do? Refund the police? When they talk about black people, you guys don't need reparations. You can't throw money at the problem. But then when it comes to police, what do they want? Hey, throw money at us. Nah, you can't throw money at the problem. Oh, we're the police, throw money at us. And they always come out they feared for their life. Think about this, bruh. Imagine I run up on you. I have a canine dog that will sick on you at my command. I have a drone. I have a robot dog. I have a shotgun. I have an M16. I have a pistol. I have a taser that will hit you from like 30 yards. I have bear spray. I have mace. I have flash grenades. I can go on with the weaponry. I have tanks. But I fear for my life? Are you kidding me?
Black people do call the police. This whole thing where black people don't want to snitch. No, black people report crimes all the time. The police don't do anything. They don't come and do anything about crime in black society. That's the problem. Black people report crime. Let's stop with this myth that black people are on this whole no snitching thing. We've seen First 48. We've seen niggas get in them rooms and start snitching. Let's get off that. And
I gotta get a bro some props for that. That is a great point. How many times have y'all seen First 48? Niggas have been snitching for a Happy Meal. A Happy Meal with fries and no ketchup. Niggas have been snitching for some Temu earbuds. Niggas have been snitching for some curly fries with mambo sauce. So this whole, oh man, the black community, man, they be practicing on that no snitching stuff. And it's funny, especially coming from cops. Guess who has the most firm, strictest no snitching policy? The cops, the boys in blue, the biggest gang. If you were a cop and you snitch on another cop, do you know what's gonna happen to you? So the cops ain't even allowed to snitch on each other, and then they come and tell the black community, oh man, see, so we would have solved the crime, but don't nobody want to snitch. First of all, should nobody have to snitch? They got cameras everywhere. You notice when they want to find something out, then suddenly they activate cameras everywhere that you didn't know. But then when it comes to black community, they like, yeah, we seen the cameras, but it just missed that. Okay, it didn't miss all this other stuff, right? That they'll get you for all of these tickets. Mind you, these cameras is so fast, bro. You try to speed through the fast track, they like, nope. Got your license. You try to speed through a red light, nope. $500 for that red light. And then it was a murder, and they were like, in Chicago, 2 people died. 100 people shot. How the fuck did 2 people die, but 145 people were shot? Like, what the hell were they shot with? Some paintball guns? But let's just say that was true. Okay, 2 people died in Chicago, 145 people shot. Okay, cool. So, but no suspects. What? And then they'll literally say this: no suspect, 2 people died, 140 people shot. And guess what goofy niggas get online? See? Black on black crime. And then you get goofy niggas like Black Lives Matter. Man, who they matter to? Nigga, shut your goofy ass up, nigga. What are you doing to combat what you whining about? And if you ain't doing nothing, then yeah, we don't want to hear from you.
And also reporting a crime that you ain't got nothing to do with, that's not snitching. Our good brother Bun B, he was just on the stand. He was
Perfect example. Keep going.
Bun B was on the stand talking about this dirtbag lowlife who ran up in the house where his wife was there trying to do a home invasion, and talking about how that just devastated his family. He had tears in his eyes, very emotional about it. So they threw the book at that damn fool. They gave him 40 years, as they should. There was a couple of knuckleheads talking about, was Bun B snitching? Was Bun B snitching? No, he wasn't snitching, you idiot. People who think that are people who ain't even in the streets like that. These are people who think they know some street business. That ain't.
I remember that. Yeah, some people had broken into Bun B's house. And then, since Bun B took the stand, they like, oh, man, Bun B, man, he can't talk about the streets no more. He snitched. And it's funny, bro, because like right now, if someone has a handsome little son, a beautiful little daughter, and somebody drives by, and, does an unfortunate drive-by on them, and your kid gets deleted, you mean to tell me, and your wife tries to call the cops to report it? Man, don't call no cops, man. Don't snitch. I'm gonna take care of this. How you gonna take care of it? It was a drive-by of a masked person. Oh man, but I knew it was this rival gang. Okay, that gang has hundreds of members. Who did it? You know what I mean? So it's like, and then you're gonna have to cooperate with the police. So the police gonna come and say, okay, cool, we know that your family member was hurt, we know your house was broken into. What happened? Man, I ain't no snitch. I ain't telling y'all shit, man. Come on, bruh. Like, is that really how it's gonna go down? Like, just stop with the act, bruh. Most of you cats are civilians, so what are you talking about? No snitching anyways.
Ain't the snitching? Bun B wasn't involved in a crime. Snitching is if you go out here and do a crime with somebody and then you go tell on this person to lighten your sentence. That's all snitching is.
And speaking of snitching, Charleston Coonston White is a snitch. First of all, he admitted, man, I'll tell on you niggas, right? And people was like, oh yeah, he just trolling. No, bruh. The nigga took the stance and ratted on the person that he was with. But see, and this is where our society has got extremely pathetic. See, niggas would be like, man, who is this nigga B-Eazy? And if niggas had even a whiff of me snitching or me doing any of this shit that these goofy niggas was doing, bro, nobody would mess with me. But then Charleston White, a known snitch, a known documented, he didn't just snitch, he snitched in 4K. It probably wasn't 4K, it was a long time ago. It probably was like 480p, maybe 720p, right? So he snitched in SD, standard definition, right? But now, because what? Oh man, he got an icy chain. Okay, 6ix9ine. So 6ix9ine is a snitch and he has an icy chain. So I should give 6ix9ine a pass. Oh, Charleston White was right about this one thing he said about the black community. So he was right about one thing, he was wrong about 100 other things, and then he snitched. I mean, that's just what it was. It wasn't like he was just a civilian. The nigga was in the streets doing dirt. And they say, if you can't stand the heat, get out the kitchen. Before he got out the kitchen, he told who was in the kitchen with him. That would never be respected by me. There would be no way that I could talk my way out of it and justify it. But Charleston White, as long as he talks about the black community in a disparaging way and occasionally says something that resonates with you, then suddenly his snitch jacket doesn't even matter, bruh. Where has our society gone, bruh?
You literally just proved my point with what you said. You said the main people who think like that are people who's not even in the streets. But then a second ago, you told me, well, we don't have normal people that don't believe that don't call the police. You literally just admitted that under that post was normal civilians who was saying basically he snitched.
What?
You just said it was normal civilians that basically was saying.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it was some knuckleheads online. Yeah. So what?
But then you just told me a few minutes ago that normal black people just call the police anytime we see a crime. Is
most
that not
black people? Most black people do.
No, bro. Like that's just not true. Like it's just like you can
prove it's not true.
How can you prove it's true? How can you even prove that?
Black people.
So hold on, if he's saying Tariq can't prove that it's true, that would also mean that he can't prove that it's not true. So that would just make this a wash, you know what I mean? So if he know that he can't prove that it's not true, why is he pushing this thing? And mind you, this is what he's saying. The majority of us don't call cops because we believe in this whole no snitching policy. What person, bro? Niggas have got their car broken into and they called the cops. They've got their house broken into and they called the cops. But you mean to tell me if somebody do a drive-by on your house, you ain't gonna call the cops because it's no snitching? If somebody pull up and delete your wife, you ain't gonna call the cops because, no, man, I'm gonna go get street justice. Even though I don't know who did it, but no, man, I ain't taking a stand. Nigga, what? Like, come on, bruh. You can tell this dude, he's acting like he said he grew up in the hood or something like that. Like, no, bruh. Go back to the burbs, bro, with Becky, bro, and just stay out of black business. We don't want to hear from broken buffoons like you, bruh.
People report crimes all the time.
How can you prove that on a high level? You said prove
because we don't want crime around us.
So how is it so hard?
Do you think black folks want people breaking in their houses? Really? You think black people are cool with that? Tupac spoke on that. Tupac was like, hey, we don't like crime either. We don't want to live next door to a criminal.
I can tell you the problem.
We don't want crackheads running around. We don't want crackheads lurking around our kids. We report crimes all the time. The police just don't do anything about it. I'm gonna give you another example. The Jeffrey Dahmer situation. This sister called the police on Jeffrey Dahmer, and Jeffrey lived in a black neighborhood. They got 911 calls recorded. This sister just made dozens and dozens and dozens of calls complaining about Jeffrey Dahmer. These people didn't do a damn thing. They weren't the only ones. They just sat up and let this dude kill black folks just indefinitely until he just got himself caught up. Black folks don't like crime. But the thing is, we don't get the services. They don't go in and protect us. We don't get protection from criminality. That's a fact, sir. Now let's go back to you. Now let's go to you. Now, what are you doing about crime? What are you doing about all this crime? You personally.
What am I doing about the crime?
Right.
And I haven't did nothing about the crime.
Right.
There you go. He asked him, what is he doing about the crime? And then this dude started giggling and cackling like the little hoe that he is. So if you're not doing anything about the crime, why the fuck are you whining about it, bruh? And that's what you hear about all these niggas, bro. The Hodge twins, even a bunch of these white conservatives, they talk about black crime and fatherless homes, and you just need more Jesus, bruh. If you put a Bible in every black household praising and groveling to this white Jesus, how the fuck is that going to keep these kids gainfully employed? How is that going to help increase literacy rates, right? Instead, this dude just wants you to be more friendly to cops. Be more friendly to cops that already have a racial bias to you. So just like, if you just kiss their ass a little bit more, then maybe they won't call you a nigger. They'll just call you darky instead of nigger. Like, nah, I prefer nigger, bro. So there's no confusion about what's going on here and shit like that. See, some of people, they get confused by polite supremacy or nice supremacy. If someone's not calling you a nigger, where they're not racist, yeah, they didn't call you a nigger. They said, hey, bucko. And then when you went home, they worked to undermine you. Nah, I would have preferred that person to call me a nigger straight in my face, because then I already know what type time it is. With these other people, you're confused because you're like, well, they were nice and they bought me an avocado toast. They bought you an avocado toast and then they denied you the raise that you were eligible for. But hey, they got you some avocado toast. Like, come on, bruh.
I wasn't even illegal 8 years ago. I wasn't even adult 8 years ago.
Doesn't matter. Are you grown enough to sit here and wag that finger? You need to be grown enough to stop some of this crime.
So
you know how
now dude is acting like a victim. I'm young. I only voted once. So now he's acting like he's too young to have done anything, but he's not too young to criticize the community. So he's old enough to criticize the community and tell us that we ain't shit and what we need to do. But when he asks him for the solution, hey man, I just turned vote age. I'm young. Nigga, you ain't young. You old enough. You feel me? You got your driver's license. You old enough to vote. And once you turn 18, you're considered an adult. You know what I mean? You know, that's the rite of passage, you know, unfortunately. And, you know, this is unfortunate, but many times in our community, you turn 18, nigga, you grown. Get up out the house. What you doing? So now this dude is clearly over 18, but now he's acting like he can't have any solutions because he's just so young. Well, nigga, just shut up, bruh. Shut up and let the old heads teach you. Let the elders lead you. You know what I mean? Because, you know, we can give you the knowledge. It's just we can't understand it for you.
You saying, you know how I can't personally fix it.
Listen, so you know what I do? You know what I do to help stop crime?
Tariq, what do you do to fix it?
I hire people. I employ people to keep them off the streets. That's going to help stop crime. I hired a dude the other day.
And that's a big deal. Gainful employment. Most of the crimes are economic. When you see people robbing, they're not robbing niggas just for the thrill of robbing niggas. They're robbing people for valuables. Those valuables can be flipped and turned into monetary value. So that's basically people are trying to, you know, enfranchise and enrich themselves. So if you say, okay, hey, let's give these people some, you know, gainful employment. Look, bro, you nickel and diamond on the street. Like, bro, I could show you how to make some legal money that you'll make more. You feel me? Hey, you want to do some photography work? Let's go shoot some videos, bro. You'll make more than, you know, those couple dime bags you're selling. Hey, you want to go do some landscaping, some junk removal? It's various, some carpet cleaning. We can come up with some creative ways to get some paper in your pocket, bro. You don't have to be down bad right now. But if there are no opportunities and no one is presenting those opportunities because all of the coon and KEWNservatives ran to the burbs with Becky, then yeah, it's gonna be, you know, niggas around a bunch of other niggas, and niggas is gonna do nigga shit. You know what I mean? But to project some niggas doing nigga shit onto somebody that's, you know, living in a high-rise apartment in SF, or somebody that's a doctor, a lawyer, you know, someone that's a pastor, you know, hardworking people that don't live nowhere near you know, the kind of miscreant behavior, but you want to kind of put that on all people. Nah, man. If you're not willing, you know, to like take some bullets and arrows and go in the hood and, you know, kind of be shunned, ostracized, and be rejected to a certain extent, you know what I mean? If you're not really willing to do that and still fight for liberation, then just get out the way. Because it's people that are willing to do that. You think when the Black Panthers had that food program, they weren't just having a food program. They had health clinics. They were doing security. They were doing all sorts of things. You think it was easy for them? There was a lot of bickering. There was a lot of arguments. There was a lot of strife. But they said, you know what? This is for the greater good, the greater cause. You know, I have, you know, my issues, but I won't name this organization, but there are certain organizations that will go to the hood. They go to the hood to reform that area. They don't make a podcast about the hood. They go to the hood and they interact with the Pookies, you know what I mean? They make sure that they feed the Pookies. If Pookie needs clothes for a job interview, hey, here, you need some slacks, Pookie. You need some shoes. Now Pookie don't have to go rob somebody. And my thing is, you know, there's jokes and memes. Hey man, fuck them kids and all this other shit. So if you mean fuck them kids and then that kid turns up and grows into be a teenager and he robs you, then why should I care? You said fuck that kid and that kid said fuck you when he robbed you. Y'all both is like fuck each other. Y'all keeping the same energy. You got disdain for him for being a pookie. He got disdain for you for not creating opportunities when you were supposed to be the educated, all-knowing merchant class, right? But there were no opportunities that you can create. Fine. So they're going to take opportunities. Isn't that what this country was founded on? Oh, look, man, we like this land. Even though there's some people here, yeah, we're going to say we discovered it. We're going to genocide them and we're going to take that land. And then when somebody does that in the hood for some territory, it's like, well, look at your culture. You mean the culture of how this country was founded? I'm just keeping the same energy as the founding fathers, right?
Sometimes I hire people to do little freelance stuff around my warehouses. And it was the brother who I hired. It was a young guy, and he saw who I was. He didn't know it was me he was working for, because I hired him off of an employment app. And the brother was very thankful, and he was telling me his story. Like he had went to jail, and he was on alcohol real bad, and just a whole bunch of shit. And it was hard for him to get his shit together. And he was just very thankful that I gave him an opportunity to make decent, honest money. That's how you stop crime. You create opportunities, you create institutions that's going to serve the community, and then you get people from the community to work and get off the streets, and you give them an alternative. You understand? You have to create institutions. I'm not going to get around white people and wag my finger so the white people put a couple of dollars in my pocket.
That's not how you stop crime. Just because this notion that just because you give a criminal money, that's gonna stop him from committing crimes. It's so stupid.
No, it wasn't.
So y'all could see how much of a Sambo this dude is. He said that's not going to stop crime. So Tariq talked about gainful employment, getting people off the streets, because you don't need to be on the street hustling and thugging it out when I'm giving you a job to make some honest, legitimate money. He's rejecting that and saying, no, that's not going to stop crime. But what will stop crime if more of us become cops and if we start being more polite to the cops? Bruh, are you fucking kidding me?
No. See how you tried to word that?
No, but that's what you pushing.
No. See how this now you giving a criminal money. No, I gave a criminal when he wasn't even a criminal. I gave a brother who had involved himself in criminality. I gave him a job.
So think about how he says this. You're giving a criminal money. So think about this, right? So what's the alternative for Tariq to not give a criminal money? So if the dominant society won't hire this air quote criminal, and Tariq or the black community is like, man, we can't give criminal money, then what the hell do you think that criminal is going to do? Many of these criminals have families. You can say, oh, they shouldn't have a family. Well, they do have a family. So you don't want Tariq or FBAs to hire the criminals. You don't want the dominant society to hire the criminal. And then they say you do the crime, you do the time, right? They don't say you do the crime, you do the time, and then you keep doing the time. They say you do the crime, you do the time. This criminal did the time and now they're out. And now you're saying, well, you're going to give a criminal money. He's not a criminal anymore. That's why he's out. He's a former criminal, right? An ex-criminal. Oh no, he's still a criminal. How is he still a criminal when he haven't done a crime? And then if nobody wants to hire him, what do you think he's going to turn to? Crime? It's just idiotic. But this is the conservative buck breaking mindset, right? So when it comes to when you look at the construction crews, you know how many of those Hispanic people are criminals? That a bunch of them have criminal records, but they're like, who cares? They're cheap labor. That type of criminality doesn't matter. Many of them come over and they're like, I'm fleeing gang violence. And then you look and they see you got all this tattoos. I'm like, damn, you got all these gang tattoos. Yeah. Oh, I was in a gang in Mexico, but I'm in America now. So I'm not in a gang anymore. So now they're not a criminal. They were a criminal in Mexico, but they come to America with a clean slate and now they're not a criminal. And America has no issue employing criminals. Why do you think they go to the jail and employ criminals? Shouldn't they be saying, man, look, we don't want to hire these fucking thugged out ruffians. Instead, they're like, yeah, let's go hire those niggers in the prison for 13 cents a day. but those are a bunch of, thugged out creeps. If it's just about criminality. So this dude is over here whining and saying, well, Tariq, you gave a criminal a job. Okay, what's the alternative? You don't give a criminal a job and then they rob your hoe ass. And then he's going to be whining too, talking about black on black crime. See, that's why I can't rock with the KEWNservatives.
You understand? You give people a job and give them an opportunity so they don't have to fall into criminality. You understand? Wouldn't that be a good solution to employ people, right?
That will only work for the high IQ criminals. The other criminals, they gonna steal from the cash register. They gonna commit crimes because that's in them. Like, because some people just commit crimes, bro, because it's just in them.
It's just in them.
I know some people that used to steal from the stores when we was in middle school and elementary. It was just in them. Like, some people just have this shit. Like, they just know how to be a criminal. And so what I'm saying, the way we solve that is by stopping the single mother problem we have. That's the biggest problem. That's the biggest problem.
Here we go again. So first he said we stop the crime problem by more of us being cops and being friendly to the police, not just ass kissing like he does, but crack licking. And then now he's saying, oh, there's too many fatherless homes. Where have we heard this before? And then they also like to harken back to Jim Crow. Man, the black family was together during Jim Crow. Oh, okay, you're right. Black people were married at an over 80% rate during Jim Crow. And guess what was still happening when they were married at an over 80% Jim Crow rate? They were still being lynched. They were still being tortured. They were still being maimed and brutalized in very heinous, barbaric conditions. So no matter how much they were pulling themselves up by their bootstraps, and people weren't sagging. There was no rap music. They were literally being the model minority. And guess what they say? You know what, nigger, it's not good enough. We're still gonna burn your house. And now people like, man, we just need to pull our pants up. Well, you feel me? We pulled our pants down, they lynched us. We pulled our pants up, they lynched us. Oh, you just need to pull your pants up more. Okay, I pulled my pants up more and they still lynched me. Oh, you need to pull them up more. Nigga, my pants can't go up anymore. You see what I'm saying? So these people think that you could just kind of behave your way out of anti-blackness and white supremacy. And this is the mind of a brain dead, buck broken babbler, aka KEWNservative.
Problem we have in the black community is because that's why we have these bad policies. Is because the black single mothers. That's the number one problem to me by far. Because if you have an FBA pops like I do, you not gonna commit a crime, bro. Because he gonna have you. You just know how to move. You know what I'm talking about. When an FBA is in a house, that's a pops. He go take you to your games. He gonna teach you how to just move right. These guys do not have an FBA pops. They come from a hood rat, or even a black woman that's in college. She cannot. That her son is gonna want to be cool. He gonna want to get the girls, and a lot of these young girls, they're going with the criminals. They're going with the gangbangers. And so we could ignore that reality.
This again. Now, how old are you again? You're 22, 23. How old are you?
I just turned 25 in April.
25. You went to college?
Yeah, I got an associate's degree.
Hold on, nigga. You 25? Bro, you 25? Bruh, he was acting like he was just so young and shit. Bro, you 25. There's no way you should be talking like this. This is the second time that he brought up, man, a lot of the young women are getting with criminals, bruh. If you ain't getting no cooch, just say that, my nigga. Like Bree said in the chat, this nigga don't got no swag, man. You don't got no sauce, no drip. You're not debonair. You have no bravado. That's not on these chicks. Bro, a lot of the pookies, the niggas, they got mouthpiece. Like my OG, bro, Clarence, bro, a lot of them is sexual mutants, bro. So it's like, bro, you got to step your game up. How are you losing to a low IQ, thugged out Pookie, bro? Because that's what you want to talk about. You want to ostracize Pookie, but Pookie is over there knocking down. Pookie is getting coochie. Meanwhile, you sound like a period coochie, whining and just all bloody, stanky, and fishy, bruh. Get it together.
Agree. That's it. I don't like that.
What college you go to?
I went to Iowa Central University.
Oh,
Yeah.
how was it?
There we go. Bro went to Iowa Central, so Iowa Central is Lily White Central. That's like a haven for the W's.
In Iowa.
I was playing football, so I was supposed to, COVID happened while I was in college, so we got kicked out of our college, and so that happened.
All right, and out there in Iowa, and when you were in Iowa,
Uh-huh.
how would them white girls treat you?
The white girls, they was easy, like they wasn't like doing nothing, like they was easy,
Right. So you had, how many white girlfriends did you have?
Most of my girlfriends was black. I mean, I hit.
Not in Iowa.
Not in Iowa. No, because you tried to push it there, but I know.
Nigga, stop lying, bruh. Bro grew up in Iowa talking about most of my girlfriends were black. No, unless you talking about the one dry. Yeah, you had a bunch of racial dolazols. Like, nigga, stop lying, bruh.
In Iowa, come on. Not in Iowa. Okay. How many white girlfriends you have, brother?
Okay. In Iowa, I was with like 2 girls. Like I messed with 2 girls in Iowa. Like, in college, like they, we athletes, they grab the snacks. You know how I go.
Okay, got it. So the 2 girls you had in Iowa.
Bro, shut up. He is saying, man, in college, I had like 2 girls. Man, you know, in college, no, bruh. If I went to one college party, nigga had 2 girls. You talking about you had 2 girls the entire time you was in college? And they was 2 bunnies, bruh. So he's trying to say every girl he dated was black. But when he was in Iowa, he only dated 2. And they were snow bunnies. Like, bro, you all over the place. Just stop lying, man. KEWNservatives, KEWNservatives. Stop lying.
Iowa, they were white girls, right?
Yeah, like one was like foreign, like Honduras or something like that. Yeah. Basically.
Honduras?
Yeah, she was like from this weird country, like Honduras. She said Honduras or something. She's
was she
like
Latina?
Yeah, but she had
So this dude dated someone. It's not called Honduras, it's called Honduras. Bro, you're a KEWNservative. Y'all always talk about, and mind you, this dude was just talking about fatherless homes. Nigga, where was your dad, bruh? Your dad didn't get you no hooked on phonics or just a anything with geography so that you can pronounce Honduras? H-O-N Duras? Come on, bruh. KEWNservatives, is this your king?
Skin. She had like she was like mixed. Oh no, She was weird. She was like white.
Did y'all hear that? First he said he was with 2 white women. Then he was like, no, she was from a weird place, Honduras, Honduras, Valhalla. No, nigga, she's from Honduras. Okay, and now he's, man. Let me just rewind it back. This shit is wild, bruh.
Oh, not in Iowa. Okay. How many white girlfriends you have, brother?
Okay. In Iowa, I was with like 2 girls. Like I messed with 2 girls in Iowa. Like, in college, like they, we athletes, they grab the snacks. You know how I go.
Okay, got it. So the 2 girls you had in Iowa.
What prominent athlete y'all know in college that only smashed 2 chicks? Bro, you go to one party and you smashing more than that. So he's just acting like they was easy. If they was so easy, why'd you only get 2?
Iowa, they were white girls, right?
Yeah, like one was like foreign, like Honduras or something like that. Yeah. Basically.
Honduras?
Yeah, she was like from this weird country, like Honduras.
And he asked, were they white? And he was like, one was foreign. Nigga, I didn't ask you, were they foreign? Were they white? It's just like, oh yeah, I was with these white girls, and one was from Iowa and one was from Ukraine. Yeah, a white Ukrainian. So you trying to say that she's foreign and exotic, bro? She was white. He asked you, was she white? And you're trying to say that she was foreign. Yeah, a foreign white. And then he tried to say, oh, well, she was mixed. And you see what I'm saying? That's how people like to do with this racial Monty, the 3-card racial Monty. So he's acknowledging that she's white, but then also she's mixed. So she's not white. Oh no, she is white, but she's mixed. Okay, so what is that? That's like saying, hey, could I have a peanut butter sandwich? And then I give you a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I asked for a peanut butter sandwich. No, this is the same. It has peanut butter on it. Yeah, it has peanut butter and jelly. I asked for a peanut butter sandwich. No, this is the same. How is it the same? But that's what they want. That's what they want you to convince. Oh, this person's mixed. They're just the same as you. I'm a peanut butter sandwich. Well, they're a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. It's the same. You both have peanut butter. Yeah, but I don't have any jelly though. Oh, well, you're the same anyways. I mean, okay. That's the one drop for you.
Or she said Honduras or something.
She's like Latina?
Yeah, but she had pale skin. She had like, yeah, she was like mixed. I don't know. Okay. She was weird. She's like whitish though. Like she looked white basically.
And the other one, where is she from? Just a regular plain Jane white?
She doesn't look white. She was white. Honduras is not a race. Hispanic, Latina is not a race, bruh. I don't know why race, nationality, ethnicity, which you can say all are social constructs that everyone adheres to. I don't know why it's so confusing to people that, you know, purport to have this high IQ.
Girl.
Yeah, I don't know.
Right. So, are you dating a white girl now?
No, single.
Who? You say okay. The last girl you had, was she white?
The last girl, nah, I think she was black.
You think
they wasn't a relationship.
Come on, bro. He just asked him his last girl. Man, I think she was black. Nigga, you don't know if you was with a black girl or not? Like, come on. And like Shorty McGriff says, this is his problem. He don't know how to talk to sisters. Bruh, there's nothing wrong with being a nerd or a dweeb, but bro, you gotta step your mouthpiece up.
They're just like, you know, just like sneaky links type. They wasn't like.
So you had a relationship with a black girl?
Duh. I grew up in the hood, bro. Like, I don't know. Like, all hood, basically.
Okay.
Does anybody believe this nigga grew up in the hood?
I'm talking about the last relationship you were in, brother. The last one,
okay,
sneaky link.
The last main girl I had was kind of white, and the one I was, she's kind of whitish.
Kind of white.
The main girl. But I have messed with black girls after that. You see what I'm saying? So it ain't.
Yeah, it don't sound like you're too fond of the black.
You see the dude, like he asked, was the people white? They were white-ish. And then he was like, oh, well, one was pale. He trying to do everything to not say that the dude is not a bunny chaser. Bruh, nobody cares. It's just he knows that people are gonna be like, that now it starts to make sense why they calling you a coon, because you got all these Sambo views and then you're seemingly obsessed with bunny chasing. He's trying to say, oh no, she wasn't white, she was foreign, a foreign white girl. No, she was mixed. She was exotic. She like, come on, bruh.
Girls, this is what
I hold them to a higher standard because I grew up with like real black women. Like I grew up, y'all generation is not like our generation.
What's your generation? What's your generation like?
They different, bro. They not the same. Like I grew up with a real 2-parent household, an FBA grandma that I lived with. You see what I'm saying? Like I didn't grow up like with these women. Just they not the same. And like I hate.
So he grew up with 2-parent household, and this dude is still this moronic. He grew up in a 2-parent household, and his mouthpiece is this non-existent. See, and this is what people always try to talk about, kids out of wedlock and all this stuff. There's many people that grow up in 2-parent households and they raise coons and sambos. And then there's some people that have a single parent and then their kid grows on to be more successful than people in 2-parent households. Does it matter? I do believe to have a stable, functional family, ideally you should grow up in a 2-parent household. Ideally, you should be married. But the marriage is not a deal breaker. Some people are in a 2-parent household where their parents are married and they're being molested, or they're in a domestic violence situation. But hey, at least they didn't have a baby out of wedlock, right? Get the fuck out of here.
We try to ignore the problem we have with young black women. Like we try to just be like, okay, they don't like criminals or they don't do this. Like the only way we could fix these problems is if we tell the truth. But every time we tell the truth about black women, that they view us as like, you know, we throwing them under the bus.
Right. Because when you sit here and
And you know what? It's nothing with being from the burbs. It is an issue if you from the burbs and you trying to lie to fit in. You know our saying, you ain't got a lie to kick it. No, bruh, stop lying, bruh. I'm in the Bay Area, bruh. You know, pick your, where there's Pittsburgh, Oakland, Vallejo, San Francisco. If you from any one of those cities and you say you from, you know, you really from somewhere else, bro, people gonna push your line like, bro, you ain't really from the city, you from the so-and-so, you know what I mean? And that's cool, we'll still rock with you. But if you gonna be lying about where you from, I mean, what else won't you lie about? This dude ain't from the hood, and he doesn't need to be. Like, not all of us are from the hood, but sometimes people want to kind of cling onto the hood and say, yeah, I'm from the hood, and that's why I'm criticizing the hood. Well, nigga, if you're from the hood, why didn't you help fix the hood? Oh, no, man, I just ran from the hood because I couldn't take it. Okay, you ran from the hood because you couldn't take it, so stop complaining about what you ran from, you hoe-ass nigga.
Can say the black women ain't shit, but then you up here dating these white women. That's kind of cool. It has a stench of.
Yeah, it do sound. No,
it does have a stench of. Let's be real, it has a stench.
It do.
Right, you know that. You know that.
Even bro had to concede. He over here giggling. Yeah, nigga, you're conceding that. Yes, you do sound like you got some tap dancing proclivities.
Let's just be real. And Clarence Thomas, who's up here with an old ugly white woman, you know, when they sit here and wag that finger, but y'all laying up with a pale skinned bag of mayonnaise, it looks funny. You dig? So you the community is not going to really take heed to what you're saying because it's coming from a funny style place.
Yeah, I know.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that's why I haven't married nobody, you know.
Well, you sound like you're looking for the nice white queen, the white queens to. I'm
looking for the FBA conservative.
No,
that's what I'm looking for.
No, sir.
Nah, bruh, stop it, bruh. You know how Umar said snow bunnies never? This dude is on some snow bunnies forever. Sisters never. Ever.
FBA sisters in the room. Sisters, do y'all want a coonish MAGA? Give me a thumbs up or thumbs down, FBA sisters in the room.
Even this nigga had to laugh at that. He don't no fine sister want no goofy nigga like this.
Do you want a
Listen, if you a black conservative Gen Z, you feel me?
Lord,
that's what I want. Every foundation, you grew up in the South in the church. That's what I'm looking for.
Sir, no, brother. You trying to go full Becky? You trying to go full Becky, brother? Just keep it a buck and just live your truth. Live your truth.
You love no, bro.
Thank you so much, Jordan. There you go. Thank you so much, Lord.
Okay, so that was the debate. Tariq Nasheed versus a KEWNservative. And this is to everyone. Like, if you like to swirl it up, if you consider yourself a divester, you got jungle fever. Like I said, hey, do who you do, but do not undermine your community, your lineage. If you want to denigrate and disparage and work to disenfranchise your community, just because you want to get like a apricot scone, it's not worth it. So I'm about to get ready to shut her down. I've been on this thing for 3+ hours, and I want to sincerely thank everybody who has stopped by. This was an impromptu stream. I will get in the habit of streaming more consistently. I'm going to be having more pre-recorded content, and I'm still working out a schedule. My schedule was hectic right now, but I sincerely appreciate everyone that's been watching this chat live concurrently, and the replay gang. The replay gang has been doing the darn thing. Y'all been viewing your boy, and like I said, after the stream, leave me a comment if you hated the stream. Tell me, how much of a bigot, low IQ person I am in the chat, or if you was rocking with me, leave me a thumbs up, an emoji, 100, a black power fist, thumbs up. It helps boost the algorithm, helps grow the channel, you know what I mean? So that y'all can keep hearing this raw shit. Cause it ain't too many of us out here, it's the last of a dying breed, So I'm gonna hit y'all with a couple visuals and then we're gonna shut her down. Time for a like intermission. We kindly request that you show love to the channel's creator and platform by leaving a like, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell to stay up to date with all the latest content. Liking posts is completely free and helps the algorithm boost our reach. We want to grow the community larger and larger. So thank you all who take the time to support us. It does mean the world to us and doesn't go unnoticed. So I've been joined by some prestigious and illustrious guests. So before I get up out of here, definitely want to give some shout outs. So Ashura was the first one to stop through. Salute to Ashura, the lovely Sunlight, a huge inspiration. Sunlight was on my melon, like, man, come on, you got to hit us with the content. So I really sincerely appreciate Sunlight, for keeping me on the job. We got John Sinatra on his health kit. You feel me, in the gym, pushing iron, but still listening to your boy. I sincerely appreciate that. Enoch the elect. Well, I elect you, Enoch, to keep, dropping them comments. You feel me? We also been joined by Omega Breeze, Travion, the Ozzy Show. Who else we got in here? Shorty McGriff, man. Salute. Shorty McGriff was very active in the chat. Breeze Omega, it's a breeze, you feel me? But also, who else? Caesar, Blue Hive. So yeah, I mean, if I missed anybody, it was unintentional. I really appreciate y'all. And y'all can be anywhere in the world, but y'all chose to be here with me. And for that, I thank you. And I'm going to hit y'all with one more visual and I'm going to shut her down because I'm going to hit you. Yeah. Hey. B-Eazy Dat Dude. So hot it's burning up, just go ahead and turn this up. I bring the pain like an aftermath of a car wreck. It's a lot of niggas that say they real, but to me that shit is far-fetched. Most them cats is pussy, they really is on some feminine stuff. I ride up on them with the 40 ounces, the definition of adrenaline rush. Dudes is sweet like cinnamon puffer, my niggas is rough like Willow Pass. Grew up out on Mary Mac, but I used to hang on Willow Pass. These birds that I roll with, outcasts and misfits, for the zip lips when you get hit when the fifth spit, flatline in your Fitbit. Trap habits is black magic, no voodoo. Get the bands like Buku, for the cocaine they go cuckoo. Most these niggas is foo-foo, so I'm shitting on them like doo-doo. I can't fuck with y'all like tofu, I'm just saying, man, like Goku. Bad bitches at the house with me watching Netflix or Roku. Fuck them both at the same time, and I swear to God it was so cool. Street legend, real boss, I call shots cause I'm still saucy. I know some G's to the bike crack on shite racket and fly back out the mill. When they hear me flow, they say I be burning up, burning up. Cookie to the draw is what we burning up, burning up. What you ain't know, oh, we burning up, burning up. This shit so hot, it's burning up. Just go ahead and turn this up. When you hear me flow, say I be burning up, burning up. Cookie to the draw is what we burning up, burning up. What you ain't know, oh, we burning up, burning up. This shit so hot, it's burning up. Just go ahead and turn this up.
Come on,